Good evening, people. Good evening, YouTube. Now, our meeting is just about to start, our group meeting. Now, we've had a policy from day one. We give people the benefit of the doubt after confronted with the facts, and we judge them on their actions. Now, we've let many people on side, always with a cautionary note, obviously, and we watch their actions. Now, there's been many people, all sorts of fucking people, Paris, Peter, Bill, Diana, lots of people, Danny, Victoria, a lot of people around this, we've ended up giving benefit of the doubt, and we've watched their actions. Now, from day one, a lot of people have pointed out these are coming from the left, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. We've had people saying some of these are infiltrators, some of these are government plants, whatever. Now, my team, my original team, which has been from day one, is Gary Clark, Nathan Curtin, Susie Thomas, and Joe Solis. Now, Danny Jones, AJ, and Victoria, they all came around the same time within a week, well, within 3 weeks of each other, so let's say. Now, AJ, we liked everything that he's been saying, everything that he's been doing is bang on, his actions are spot on. AJ we like 110%, and we trust to a fairly high degree for the time that we've known him. At the end of the day, time that you've known people counts for a lot. Now, Danny, on the other hand, Danny has been around, he's offered to help. As soon as I asked for help, he offered to help. And since then, he's gone doing strange little actions here and there, which we have noted and we have been discussing along the way. We discuss everything in this team. We discuss every single move that people make. Everything's noted, and we do go over these things as a group. Now, as I say, we like to try and give people benefit of the doubt, and if it doesn't pay off, then we're already onto it, we're watching them, and that's the best way to handle these things. You can watch what they do, you can watch while they try and angle things and whatever. Now, tonight will be a meeting, and we'll be going over what was said on Friday night show when Glenn Zaffa joined. He's supposed to be having a debate with Pirate Girl. Now, Glenn come on the show to have a debate. He didn't come on the show to be questioned like he was on hoax police or whatever. And I think some of the stuff that Danny was talking was, I'd say, sympathetic towards the man in question, the person who grabbed a child's ass, offering all sorts of excuses, if you like. Maybe he's not had his medication, maybe he's with carers, blah blah blah. Now, the media, every single thing around this will already give it that excuse and whatever. What we don't need is the likes of Danny Jones giving it excuse and planning for it, putting the, paving the way for that. We don't need that. Now, Danny seems to have got mixed up somewhat. Right, we're gonna have to crack on.
Hello. Yeah.
Whoever sent the link out, can you send it to Nathan and Gary and make sure they got it? Because they keep missing links.
Oh, this is, I didn't send a link out, I just linked the weekly one. So do you like it or not?
Obviously Glenn the next day, and his let me just move this. Yeah, obviously we've got to see eye to eye on certain things. It's good that we've got different opinions on some things, but obviously we've got to see eye to eye on, you know, some things. Some of the things that come up was the crossing over of one thing to another and whatever, which I think initially we all kind of agree. If there's one channel for each thing, you know, constitution, one thing.
I'll come in on that one, Rick. I agree with you on that. The things that there's a couple of videos that's in the Constitution Movement Well group that's not about constitution. I'll get them removed and just left on my normal channel.
Sounds. I think it'd be a good thing if we can, you know, maybe two channels or whatever. It's easy enough to do. It's just better for people as well.
I've got my Black Country Dragon channel, so I can do everything I want on there. Then if I do one on the Constitution on my Black Country channel, I can put that on the Constitution channel, and then that's still just about the Constitution.
Yeah, that's it. That's good. Bang on.
So that takes that away. I'll do that after. I'll remove the ones that ain't supposed to be on there. I'll remove them.
There's certain things and whatever. I mean, to me, there is. It's going to get round to Friday night or whatever. I don't know how everyone felt how Friday night went. When Glenn was on, I'm not too sure how everyone felt that went.
I thought it went alright. I thought it went alright. A lot of excuses come out, haven't they? I felt
What was that, Andrew?
I felt that was okay.
Yeah.
Glenn, come on, Glenn Chapel,
Yeah.
Oh, where are we?
It's good that we got him on.
Glenn Chapel was a good bloke.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Glenn. I mean,
I didn't know him before. I actually got to know him a bit better on, you know, on the live.
Yeah.
Nathan, we're just talking about the Glenn Sapper Rude Awakening thing on Friday night.
Yeah, good show. That was a good show.
To be honest, I saw about music.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't see that. I missed that bit.
Yeah.
You wipe this, wipe that, wipe the next thing. It isn't really appropriate on anything that when you're talking about someone who's continuously being falsely accused of being a racist.
Yeah.
We start off with music that, quite frankly, could come across to others as being racist.
Yeah.
Good point. I'll give it that. It doesn't help when it's pushing towards a place where it's pushing it in the direction of the Claudette stuff, unfortunately, is the way I sort of saw that music.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
See, there's a few things.
Can you mute, Gary?
I ain't doing anything.
No, I think can you mute when you're not talking?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I ain't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that came up around that show. I mean, if we all go back to when we had a chat when all this first started, and I think Danny asked us all a question each and whatever. Now, I asked Danny a question at the time, and I said, if I can show you that Islam causes this, and that, you know, what would your answer be? And Danny's answer was to get, you know, they'd all have to leave. Now, I never said all of anybody do anything, or all of anybody would have to leave. Now, to me, a lot of time's gone between now and then. Now, I have put out a 3-hour video when it was live, or whatever, that 3-hour video. Now, that was all. People seem fond of government-based information. That was all government-based information that I put out. So people should have learned something along the way and realised that actually Islam is the cause of this. You know, there's nothing. I've not seen anyone come forward and put anything forward to say any other. You know, I'm open to debate on any of it, but I haven't seen anybody come forward and show me any different.
Andrew, can you mute Sweet, please?
Yeah, sorry.
So it's a bit strange when Danny started coming out with some strange stuff around. Originally I thought we weren't going to be talking about the case with Tommy's daughter, because obviously it's an ongoing case, which we did do, which as far as I know we shouldn't have done really. And to be honest, it came across as if we was being sympathetic towards the person that has, by their own words, admitted to touching a child's ass or whatever, groping a child. So obviously that's not going to come across great. And then
who said that, Rick? Who's mentioned that? Because I didn't see it that way.
I sort of try to defend, or not so much defend, but try and put the other aspect on it.
The fact that he might have been mentally ill and stuff.
Yeah, which I did try and sympathise, because it felt like no one else was, if you know what I mean.
But we already have every government body and media and sympathetic lefties to do that for us, don't they? We don't pave the way for it.
But I wasn't in agreement with it. That's how it come across like I agreed with it.
Well, yeah, I've watched it back 2 or 3 times over the weekend and whatever, and analysed it a bit. And I asked, obviously, Glenn the next day, and his reaction was, well, I did think whatever, but, you know, because it's one of your guys. Now, at the end of the day, we've not known each other that long. If he's presuming you're one of my guys because you're on the team and whatever. Now, I have explained to him how we know each other and, you know, how we came to be whatever we are now. So he's aware that, you know, who's actually been around me for the whole time and who's recently been around me and whatever. I've had to explain these things. Not because I needed to. I felt I should do, because some of the things that we said, it come across very odd, as if he was being sympathetic towards the whatever, and then it seemed to be that he's making little of the problem of, you know, Islam itself, the problem. See, I originally said 1% when he was quoting something over. I said, well, what's 1% of 1.6 billion people? And then I second guessed myself, because you said that you must mean million, and I second guessed myself and said million, but it's actually 1.6 to 1.8 billion people, and that is a massive number. So it is a massive problem, whichever way you look at it. Now, you can go over the facts of Easy Meat, you can go over the facts of the J report, there's lots of things you can check. You know, I thought over the time frame, us all asking each other questions to now, we would have all learnt something around each other's stuff. We've learnt around the things around your stuff, 5G and this, that and the other, and vaccinations and all that. We've all gone down each other's roads, and some of us have learnt things about each other's stuff, but it seems some of us haven't. I don't know. That's what I took from it.
Right, can I just say, from what you saying about Danny explain or putting a different twist on it,
yeah.
when I was listening to that, I can understand where Danny was coming from. The trouble is, everybody jumps on it and presumes everything. You know, yes, they listen to Tommy and what have you else, but nobody really knows. Nobody knows the exact story. Nobody knows exactly where in the building that baby pool is and who was where and what was when. All it was centre parks, kids' pool. Most of those pools are big pools with a shallower end. Nobody really knew. So
if you'd have watched the video of Tommy and his daughter explaining it, you'd have known exactly where it was.
Yeah,
I did watch that.
Video.
Yeah, he's standing in the changing rooms. But that's all I'm saying is Danny questions things and puts different things because that's what he does. That's how he does his videos.
It's not what I believe, what I question, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I understood that. I know I understand that from you. Because once again, without the investigation, nobody's going to exactly know who's what, whether they were a plant, who they were, whether they were there in care of the community. Nobody did. But yes, I also understand by questioning certain people about certain things, for some reason in this movement, it's not questioning, it's
a case that we don't actually know the facts. That was we've got to realize.
I got that you were just saying nobody really knows exactly what went on. Apart from
investigation, all 8 of us could have quite easily stepped in there, and I could have easily went, which I do personally, on my personal opinion. Now we're not recording, now we're not live. I told you guys quite happily that guy should have been arrested, that phone should have been taken. You know what I mean? But to come out and say that in public is sort of, in my eyes, is sort of jeopardising a possible case. You know what I mean? We're sort of, I know we're not big followers, but if we all start pushing this out. This is what happened, and it's not what happened, then one, we look like fucking idiots, and two, we could have jeopardised the case. That's not my goal. Was to jeopardise the case, not anything else. He was trying to give both sides. The fact is, I'm a big Tommy supporter. You should all know I'm a big Tommy supporter. Simple as that. I always will be. I mean, I'm questioning Goddard at the moment, and he's not a fucking Tommy supporter. I'm going to Goddard and going after Mark Collett, which is why I'm tickling streets balls at the moment. I think you should all know how I work now. You know what I mean? I've tried to just jump into groups and slap their asses and it don't work. I have to sort of smooth myself in there and go, right, look, I'm not a friend, but I'm here to not be trolled. I'm not going to troll you all. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to look at certain what you're on about. I can see now that Ralph is involved with fucking Mark Kellett. I can see that Street now is talking about conspiracies about his fucking head. I can see that John Lawrence is in amongst these now. He's in amongst Mark Collett, John Lawrence is. You know what I mean? So I can see these things happening over there. I'm not over there trying to fucking be, I don't know, a Mark Collett supporter. I'm a fuck.
I'm over there watching to see who goes into those chats and who says what and who's linked to who. And if I think I can contribute to something, like the other day where they said something about India didn't help build this country, I'm sorry, they did. We went over there and we had viceroys over there, and we got them to fight in the First World War for us. And they came back and helped us rebuild. So I will comment something like that, but I don't ever comment out in it looks like I'm in with them.
Because I know you said it a few times. Do you know any good Muslims?
Who's that?
Rick.
Me?
Yeah.
Do I? Yeah, loads.
Yeah, so if them good Muslims believe in the same ideology, Islam, then how can we just start saying Islam when there's good Muslims?
Because it's the ideology.
So why don't they follow that ideology? What do they say? Because my Muslim mates say they need a New Testament, they need to be rewritten. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell me anyway. It needs what we do.
They won't be able to say that. They won't be able to say that. Then it's perfect. It's perfect. You can't improve on perfect.
To explain that, can I say something? To explain that, Danny, you'd have to understand dualism and choice.
I don't understand either of them. I never even actually heard them until you said it, to be honest.
In Islam, there's a constant dualism. That's between the Mecca and the Medina Quran. You have what a perfect and a good Muslim would do. Then you have what a Muslim would do under certain circumstances. You can be either or either at any point in time.
So the question still stands though, to Rick, is what these good Muslims think they should do about it? What is their answer to the solution?
They're too scared to speak out, most of them. That's the problem.
They'll speak out to you though. They just won't speak out to their families and their friends and shit.
Only when pressed.
They speak out.
Only when pressed.
Most of them
Most of them, if they speak out in public, they face quicker retribution, and it will not be publicised with that more than us. They're more risk than us. This is what people don't realise. This is why we fight for them, because they are more risk than us if they speak out or act up.
But to me, they need an anonymous way of reporting stuff. And they do have that through Crime Stoppers online. You can report anonymously, but they won't.
I'll just explain for the first maybe 9 months to a year the reasons that I had police at my house before I was involved in any movements, any groups, before anything whatsoever. I had a local place to me that does food, and it was grooming children. Apparently the guy had already been done before. The guy before he was doing food was a Muslim police officer. Now, this Muslim police officer has already been done for grooming a child, and now he's running a food place and gets done for a second time. So I've got the paper cutting of that, gone to a few printers because no one had printed it. It was a pain in the ass. It was a nice Polish girl that ended up doing it for me. Most of them turned me away. I got a massive thing of it. I took it down. I went in the shop, showing all the customers, this is what you support and this is what you whatever. And basically did a little campaign for a couple of hours outside there. There was 50 or 60 dads out there in no time, and within 2-3 weeks it was shut down. In between, the very same day, I had the police up mine, banging on my door like I'm some fucking criminal. Basically harassing me for harassing a child rapist. So obviously I've not been very happy with the situation. I've looked up many things, and I've gone round to all these mosques. I've got DVDs that I used to give them out and all this shit. In my eyes, it's not all Muslims. It's not all Muslims. So you go to where the Muslims are, which is the mosques, and you go around and you play these videos, you play this shit, and you try and get some public outrage. You want someone to come stand with you and agree with you. Never once did that happen. Never once. Now, what you will end up doing is end up with 20, 30 guys wanting to punch fuck out of you. That's what happens on every single occasion. I've done it many a time. So this is before I got involved with any group. So trying to pull good Muslims from the crowd is harder than you would anticipate, Donna. I know. And 9
times out of 10, they will kick off.
Yeah. This is it. You get any of your Muslim friends now? I can pull one on now if you want. You won't play ball. I'll tell you this now. Get one of your Muslim friends now to jump on a phone call or whatever, and just explain the fact that their Prophet Muhammad was 56 years old when he married a 6-year-old girl and then consummated the marriage at 9. So obviously that's disgusting. So could you just do a little thing of, say that that's disgusting. You don't condone that or whatever. So condemn it or whatever. They won't do that. That won't happen.
You know what? I could probably get that right as a secret recording. I can tell you that now, but I'm going to go for that now. Then I'm going to get that as a secret recording because
not as a secret recording. You've got to do it willingly. The person's got to do it willingly.
You can't come out and say it.
He'll do it willingly to me. He won't know it's getting recorded. What I'm saying is, if I said to you, come on and tell 8 people, 9 people on a live what might get recorded, he doesn't know who you are. He ain't going to say it. You know why he won't say it, because he'll get rejected from the mosque and all that sort of shit, behind from the family, all that bollocks. Even though he doesn't, he thinks that's paedophilia. He thinks Muhammad was wrong to do that. He wants this war, Muhammad bollocks. He wants the Quran rewritten completely. New Testament, New Quran. That's what he said to me. Now, whether he's telling me bollocks and bullshit, I don't know. I don't know him that well. I spoke to you more, Rick, than I have him.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
Telford, please. From Wellington, Telford.
No, I mean, where's he originally from? Where's his heritage from?
He was born here, but his mum and dad are from Pakistan, both from Pakistan.
Yeah. See, it's one of those things.
I know it sounds daft to me. If they're not going out one, what do we do? Have they ever said to us what we need to do to stop it? Because they must know that it's wrong. If they can't help it and they can't speak
Keep our laws, keep our education, do not succumb to Islam.
Yeah, but we've got,
To me, the simple way to point out the actions of these great people or whatever is the simple fact when people do stand up and speak out, rather than go, okay, I'll just be silent on the matter. They don't. They come out and they throw rocks and bricks and piss bombs and all that sort of thing. That's what they do. So I don't know. I'm not seeing good people. I've searched for good people and I've only found a handful. I've got a handful. Don't get me wrong.
Have you seen my Telford video that I did there? It's on my channel. I'm pretty sure it's on my channel.
I don't know.
About a Telford grooming gangs.
Not too sure.
But even out of the two of them that have got Muslim friends, have any of your Muslim friends said what you need, what this country needs to do is this, or this is what people in the area need to do?
Well, they're not for Sharia. The Muslim friends I've got, the reason that I call them friends, I say they're loosely friends. You know what I mean? They're not friends I go out for. They don't drink or nothing, right? But they smoke cannabis. When I go out to a mate who also smokes cannabis, they'll be sat there smoking cannabis, right? And I chat to these Muslim guys. I've known them for about probably 3 or 4 years now. And when all this grooming shit come out, they were like, of course, me and my Jamaican friends were fucking nailing these fuckers. What the hell's going on in your community? What the hell's happening? Before the media got hold of it. So, of course, the next thing out, they're embarrassed and they're like, look, we didn't know what was going on either. You know, my uncle you knew about it. We picked his head in. We sort it out between ourselves. The families do deal with it and all this sort of shit. And it's the way they do it. And it's like, well, you need to come out and do it. We need to Quran rewritten. Quran's wrong. It's using war. It's war. Too much Muhammad shit. It's wrong. It needs to be rewritten. And that's what they tell me. And I'm like, well, I can only go on what they tell me. I've gone to mosques and quit. I haven't done what Ben's done. So I'm speaking with them now for a year. Right? And I believe a lot more what Ben's telling me about what's the Islamic problem, Muslim problem, than I've actually believed what Muslim people tell me, because I don't think they see as much as what Ben sees either. Right? That's them.
Gary, do me a favour. Look up the 4 modes of deception in Islam, taqiyya, etc.
Taqiyya. I don't need to, I know by the 2060, whatever it is, that we will be sort of the minority, we will be, because it's a simple maths. I said that for a long time. I know they will, because they have 8 kids, we have 2. It ain't going to take long before they overtake. It's the simple fucking logic, that is. And if we don't do anything about it, then it's going to happen. It is going to happen.
Den, you got it wrong actually with that. 1% of 1.6 billion is 16 million.
Yeah, it was 1.6 million you asked me to work out. I think I said 16,000, didn't I?
No, it's 16 million. 1% of 1.6 billion is 16 million.
That's right, with the numbers. Yeah. 1.6 billion what? Or million what, shall I say?
Rick said there's 1.6 billion Muslims and they reckon 1% are extremists. So 1% of 1.6 billion is 16 million.
Yeah, extremist Muslims, yeah. That's a problem, isn't it? That's a big problem.
Danny, now think we have roughly around about 200 to 250,000 police officers.
I don't think any of this is in dispute, though, is it?
So
we're all on the same side.
We haven't got a fucking Muslim problem at all. I don't think I've got an Islamic problem either.
These Muslim friends that you've got, Danny, what do they think of Sharia? I mean, are they happy to go by our rules and laws?
As far as they're concerned, they are English. That's it.
I've got Muslim friends, Danny. I've got Muslim family who've married into my family. And they tell you straight, they don't like what's going on and they are westernised like us. But if it comes to it and they call for all-out war with us, they'll have to go on the side of the Muslims because they'll be killed. 100%. That's what I
said. They'll be the first to be killed.
Well, I presume they would. They got a mosque. I presume they'd be on that side as well. I mean, we're not that sort of friends. We're that sort of close. I'm not in my family for a start.
So, you know, there's no, put it this way, in the debate the other night, there's no way I would have put the side of that Muslim. Because at the end of the day...
Is he Muslim, is he? I don't know that. I honestly don't know that.
Well, that's... Tommy's saying he's Muslim, the way he's talking.
Hold on, the way he's talking isn't necessarily what he's saying, is
and the way the person's talking, he said, I can't give you his name because it'll jeopardise it, but he's more or less telling you. And there was 3 of them in the pool with kids, 3 grown men on their own in the resort.
I find presuming what someone else is saying,
he said Asian.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, he said Asian, that's what he said. It could be Indian, Hindu, okay, anything, could be anything like that.
Chances are. And because he's all of a sudden, I mean, come on, look at the narrative every time. Every time one of these do something wrong, they blow you up in the car, or run you over in the car, blow kids up in the woods. They have mental health issues. It's the same excuse every time. That excuse is what's it with me? And at the end of the day, we're here to help Tommy put a case together. Not him. It's up to him to help get his own case sorted out. We should be here to help Tommy get a case together because that's who we're supporting, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
It's like now, if you was up for something, Danny, and we was going to help you, we wouldn't be worried about what the other bloke's doing. We'd be worrying about getting your justice because that's what we do. That's the side we're on.
Right. So basically,
not the perpetrator.
Right, so basically, on Rude Awakening, we can't do it. You can't do the interviewing like you would on a private video, yes? So any of us, if we're all in those hangouts, whatever we would do anywhere else, we have to behave differently on that process.
No, you don't automatically defend the perpetrator over the victim. There's a victim that it's actually happened to. This is not in dispute.
That's what I'm saying. There wasn't a defence. It was a... Because as far as I was concerned, it was putting a different opinion on it. But that was, yeah, I understand what you're all saying.
See, the point I took from it is he's admitted to touching a child's ass. At that point, we don't have to assume very much. He's admitted it. You know, most people...
As a child, as she was a victim,
yeah.
That's the person we should be actually defending and thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, let's forget that it was Tommy. Let's just say it was, you know, any of us just taking our children or grandchildren to the pool, and that happened. What would you?
So it was more of an interview than it should have been as a debate, because obviously,
this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing. He turned up to debate. Pirate Girl didn't show. He could have just said, "Oh well, I showed." Quick 5-minute chat and left, but he stayed on for all that time, and it turned into Hoax Police. That's what it turned into. The second half changed in like that, bam, and it turned into Hoax Police, and it was very strange stuff that was being said.
But once again, like I was saying before, I'm not, but you lot are also used to doing your own thing to bring it, like, and we've just all brought our own bits and we're plonking it together. We're all still on a very learning curve at the moment, aren't we? I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying it's the learning curve for all of us to bring us, you know, go on.
We've got to drive into it, you know, we're always aiming for a fresh audience, and if the fresh audience think, you know, that we're defending somebody that has already admitted to grabbing a child's ass over, I mean, to me, it's as simple as that. If it was me, it would have been a lot worse than what Tommy's done, and at the end of the day, I would have still been in my right to do it, and I wouldn't have been on the charges that Tommy's on. I know that for a fact. I've been in these positions. I've had older people and made a mess of them because they were struggling and being stupid while you hang on to them for police. And I've never had no charges, never. So I know these things can go the right way if they want them to. This is Tommy being persecuted, and the last thing we want to do is be publicly paving the way for the mental ill card. They already get granted that card freely. whether they've got mental illness or not, probably. It seems
exactly.
that way.
I mean, what's happening right now, and people got to realise this, is a little girl is been groped. She's the one it's happened to, and she's being ignored. Yet again, the victim is being ignored. And the narrative again is about the perpetrator and how we should be feeling sorry for him or somehow excuse him, and using Tommy to blur the situation.
Can you imagine how bad that girl will feel if Tommy goes to prison because she spoke out?
Absolutely. But I think what I'm seeing here is us all being very new at this, and basically Rude Awakening was maybe the fifth one we've done. And to have somebody like Glenn on, to me, as I said, it's a learning curve. I don't think anybody did anything intentionally or spoke out of turn intentionally, if that's what everybody's thinking.
Packy was said twice on the show, on the second half.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. Everyone kind of paused, including Glenn. It was noticed. Everyone just sort of went, did he just say Packer? I've never said, I guarantee everyone in this room's only ever heard me say Packer just now. It's not a word that I use.
I've never heard you use any racist.
Let's look at it from anybody who wants to point a finger. Straight away you've got the racist music, then you've got Glenn on there, which already gets accusations of bullshit anyway, and then the hosts of the show are actually being sympathetic towards the whatever, but saying words like packets. I don't know.
I must admit, I've not watched it back, but from what I got at the time, I didn't get any of that. However, I've not watched it back.
Yeah, I had to go over it a few times. It's just one of those things. I was like, I don't know.
As criminal charges go and suing, it's a minefield. That's a
yeah.
I say, how many people will actually go out? Well, I was going to say go over the fine-tooth comb. We do it all the time, so I'll shut up.
This is it. We're going to be ridiculed. People will go over these things like we do, and they'll pull all these little bits out and they'll store it up. I can imagine Jason's little fucking wank bank of stuff now. Little bits that have been said. Bam, bam, bam. And he'll save them all up till he's got an hour's worth, and then he'll put them out. Oh, look what Rude Awakening's about. You've got to think ahead of this game. These people are out to trip you up. They're out to set you up. And any dirty tactics they can employ, they will. They will. They've never gone any other route. They'll continue on that route. That's why it stinks of the left. It's the lefty tactics. It stinks of it.
Two things I want to say, Rick. First of all, I ain't had a hangout link for the last at least 2 shows, could be 3. I just don't get the link sent to me. And the second one, I think that because you keep having your channels taken down all the while. 1 minute you're on there, Pendragon's Den. The next thing you're back as Den Tarragon. You're having to keep changing because they're taking your finger down. I think that you should be, actually, when it comes up Rude Awakening, that should be you. So that people know it's you, because otherwise, 1 minute you, like say, you're Pendragon's Den, the next minute you're Den Tarragon, also known as Josh Bible, blah, blah, blah. And it's changing all the while, whereas when we go live on Rude Awakening, if you're Rude Awakening, everybody will get to know that when Rude Awakening speaks, that is actually you.
Right.
You need a stable platform, basically.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I never thought about it like that, Gary. What was that?
Sorry, Vic.
I thought you always started off anyway. It's normally you that speaks first, Rich, isn't it?
I don't know. Not really sure, to be honest. I think I've once or twice, but
Yeah, you did the other night. You did with Ellie Mae.
yeah.
You introduced it. I mean, we might be chatting before we know it's actually gone live on, because we don't know that it's gone live on YouTube. So we might be chatting and then you introduce it. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But I don't. Other than that, I don't understand what you mean. Does Rick need to do?
Rick needs to be more active. Like you say, when introducing people, stuff like that, Rick needs to be more proactive, sort of controlling the general overall thing.
And also, like the other night, if I can just say one thing, I couldn't really place. I mean, obviously, I've seen Glenn sort of phone in, but I didn't really know who Glenn was, and there'll be people viewing it that might not have known who he was. So when he was introduced, he should perhaps have been explain something about him, so people that were listening to for the first time knew who he was really.
Bang on, Susie.
Right, so we can't presume that everybody knows who the people are that might be chatting. So we've got to give them a bit of a build-up.
And that would come from Rick.
Yeah, because even now Glenn is like Tommy's right-hand man sort of thing. Not everybody, they've heard of him, but if you put him in front of them, they might not recognise who he is, if you know what I mean. They all know of him, but not everybody knows him. If you put him, if you showed majority of people that know Tommy Robinson and they probably know Glenn Saffers, his right-hand man. But if you show them a picture, I mean, who's that? They'll probably say, I don't know. Yeah. That's why, and it's not just him, it's whoever you have on the show.
Yeah.
The guest.
Yeah.
Explain who they are.
Well,
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
This is where Rick needs to introduce the guest and to actually tell people, particularly as you could have some first-time listeners, to tell people something about the guest that we've got on.
Yeah.
And a general intro to the show and what the show's about.
Yeah. Even a quick video. It's just a quick video. Something that they've done, maybe. Yeah, it's a good idea. Just so people know. I mean,
but from you, Rick, you see, so people know that you are the host.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And can I just say the thing with the Hangouts? I think that's basically happened because we've already been in Hangouts. It's gone live from that. I've dropped out to go into the comments.
Yeah.
And then.
Yes, Rick. The thing is with the Hangout, because in the Hangout we don't have the Rude Awakening screen, that we can only get when we're sort of in the comments. People in the Hangout don't know exactly when we're going live, whereas people in the chat room obviously do know. So, there's always that little bit of confusion when we weren't able to hear some things in the Hangout. It was something for the guests then, for the people that were listening in. So there needs to be almost like a 3, 2, 1, letting us know in the Hangout too that things are happening.
Well, what Mr. Lang does on Restoration Radio when me and Nathan are on with him, he'll say we'll be chatting away like we are now, and you go, right guys, we're going live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and you go, we're live. And then that's how we know that we're live. Maybe we should do something like that.
I think you're right, absolutely. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
It worked perfectly when Stephen done it. It worked perfectly every time.
Simple solution, but it works, doesn't it?
I mean, I always drop out because if I'm not going to contribute verbally, because I don't know much about the subject or whatever else, I'll come out the Hangout so other people can get in if they're in the chat and want to come in. Because otherwise I don't know how many you can get in. But once I'm out, I can't send any links to anything once I'm out of it.
But what we've also got to do is everybody should be sent the link to the Hangout, because once the show starts and everybody's doing their own thing in the ones that are already on the show, the ones that are in the chat, it's hard to get the message out that you haven't received the Hangout link. So if anything relevant's going on, and you 9 times out of 10 it might not need anything, something you can sort out in the chat. But if it's something where you think, I want to go and address this, if you haven't been sent the link, you can't get in.
Yeah, it happened on one of the shows. I couldn't get in. I thought, this is great. This I feel like Window. I'm going to spit my dummy.
Anybody that's in the Hangouts needs to also have YouTube open, so they can see the comments and keep an eye on them. Otherwise, anybody typing stuff in the comments, even if I'm trying to get heard by you, because I'm not in the Hangouts, I'm completely out of it.
Yeah, but if you notice, Victoria, when I'm on the show, I'm always looking at the comments and I'll say, Victoria said this, Victoria said, or whoever said this. I always read the comments out, always.
Yeah. I'm no good with that, mate. No good with that.
Read the comments in the Hangout.
I can't talk and read comments at the same time. It's just something I can't do.
Sorry, Steve. What you have to do is have your Hangouts open, say on your laptop, and then have your phone open with YouTube on it. That's the only way of doing it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Victoria, if you haven't been sent the Hangout in the first place, you can't get in. You can't do that. You ain't got that option to do it because you haven't got the link.
Yeah, so normally it just goes live from something that we've all, there may be 2 or 3 already in it chatting, and then others come in, and then it's a case of going live. But as I say, I come out. So whoever sets it up to go live then, or whoever sets up the Hangout has got to make sure that they've sent the thingies out.
That's the person that opens the link in the first place.
But then that might have been opened at 10 o'clock in the morning, so do you see what I mean? By the time it goes through to the evening, it's been open all day, people just, it's like, oh my God, right, we're not doing it, we're going now, yeah, okay, right, I'll drop out, okay.
That's easy sorted. You have a program coordinator. They sort out a time with everybody who's going to be on there. ETA 10 minutes before.
Nathan, have you ever tried to get this lot together on a time scale?
Yes.
I think this is third time lucky, isn't it, tonight?
Yes. It's amazing.
It's hard for us all to try and get that one time slot where we can do it, though, isn't it, really?
And actually getting the message to everybody that you want them to come in at that time.
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't got a clue what was going on.
Usually they get the message the day after.
Yeah.
This way it should be predetermined before, so you've got like at least 48 hours notice that you're going to be on the show.
We did say that, like, when we had that first chat about it, that we were going to, like, make sure that we come up with a topic and make sure midweek or something that we've got all the stuff ready for it.
Should go back to pages. Should go back to pages. They was easy.
Like you've just said, Victoria, maybe when you're talking like this before you go live, when you know it's actually, that is the link, maybe whoever's going to be running the show or whatever should say, right, has everybody been sent the link? And then that way you know nobody's going to be missed out.
Before you know that, because you're the best one to sort of send the links to people.
Well, I can do that, but then they end up with, like, because there's a delay, then there's loads of people in the comments waiting for us because we play the music.
Yeah.
And then sort of it's shit, you know, and people are asking or speaking, so I'm being polite and going in there saying evening.
Well, if he's one, as long as I've got a link to send out from whoever's got the link, I'll send the link out to everyone via whatever they want, whether it's Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah, WhatsApp.
I do try and do it when I can remember, but it's one of them. It's one of them. I think sometimes everyone assumes someone else has done it. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
It's like tonight when Joe phoned me. The link, I've been waiting for the link, and I've been checking my phone every like 10 minutes.
I emailed it to you.
And Danny had sent you a link too in WhatsApp.
Well, I
emailed it to you, Gary. Let me check that email. Are you Gary Clarkey?
I can never get on Facebook for some reason.
No.
It don't work.
Clarkey68, not Gary Clarkey.
Clarkey, yeah, Clarkey68@hotmail.co.uk.
Yeah. Right. But the thing is, my bloody with this phone, I'm having the same problem with the solicitors and everybody when they're texting me messages and filling this application form is because it syncs with and the other email that I've got, because I've got 2 email addresses, one on Facebook, I have my normal one, and the one I've got on the YouTube, which is Gas Clark. It syncs up, and half the time it's 2 or 3 days later. I mean, the other day I had to refresh it about 10 times because it was still on the 25th of February.
So it's better to do it by WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Right, Rick, you'll have to do WhatsApp because I haven't got Rick as a WhatsApp contact. Got nobody else with a contact on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
and I'm not on WhatsApp.
I do most stuff with WhatsApp, to be honest. It's easier because I lose accounts so much. If people send it me on WhatsApp, it's there forever. To be honest, they try not to delete anything. Like I'm a hoarder of data. It's unreal.
I know.
It's unreal.
Could be worse. You could have a house full of stuff like Joe. At least yours is compact.
It's all in one box or one drawer. Yeah. That's it.
You're gonna wish you didn't say that now. You're gonna have my memoirs for me.
Well, I've been trying to delete stuff in Messenger today to free up some space because I needed to download an app.
Yeah.
And until AJ very, very kindly explained what I needed to do, there was I deleting stuff, and I was finding stuff from you, Rick, that was in really old deleted accounts.
Right.
And I thought, wow, I'd forgotten that was even there.
Does it still come up, or is it just gone? Like,
I can still see the stuff in there. It's just that I've got no access to you in there.
Yeah.
The stuff's there. You can't find it, but I can see it.
I've still got a thing pending there from an old Facebook account, and the last point of access I had to him, I said to him, I don't need it, but yous will need it. It's a log of evidence, so, I don't need access to it, but yous will need access to it or whatever.
Yeah.
It just needs to be kept open so you can get access to it. That's all I want. I don't actually want access to it myself. And it's still pending from all that time ago, so I don't know. I don't know where that stands. But to be honest, that's got enough to convict all them idiots in one go on that Facebook alone. So the data's there. If they want to retrieve it, they can do, can't they?
I'll send you them 2 memes anyway. You can redone the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and then I'll send you.
Funny that. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, and then I'll send you the one with Goddard.
Yeah. Sorry. Funny that. So
can I just check? So we're in the Rude Awakening. Everybody has definitely got to mute if they're not talking, because even just moving, coughing, or whatever cuts into people's conversation. And there's this many people in.
Yeah.
So we're all unmuted, just each making a little noise.
Yeah.
We can't hear anything.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
If you see lights come on, don't just jump in and talk over people, because nobody can hear anything. It just sounds a mess.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting heard.
Yeah.
And no heavy breathing.
Accepted. I shall try and do better.
It's one of them. It's the guest, really. I suppose we'd have to run through that with them again or whatever. It's like when
it is actually on the scrolling bar, Rick. It's on the scrolling bar to mute your mic.
Do you know what? I've never noticed that once. I've never once noticed it. Oh God! But it's one of them things. Like I did it myself on the last when we was playing that. What Glenn wanted playing? I think it was the call or something like that. Can't even remember what it was off the top of my head. And I said at the end of it, there must be like a 2-minute gap. I went, right, it's finished now. And then when I listened back to it, I must have been talking over the last minute of it, and I got Glenn talking over it and everything. I thought, fucking hell, there must be a massive gap between what we're saying and then it arriving on YouTube or something. I don't know.
That's why I have to come out of Hangouts, because I just can't. It's too much of a delay, and I either have to turn the volume down or one.
That's
but
what
as I say, if there's something being talked about that I don't have, I don't see my space being wasted in there. It's just sitting there not saying anything. I'd much rather contribute what I can in chat.
Comments,
so other people can come on if they want to.
Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. This is it. I mean, to me, it's one of them things. We're getting better with things. There's a few little things which we can improve on, but it's things we can fix anyway. There's not been a problem put forward which we've not been able to fix yet. So it's just, I don't know. We've got. I mean, going back to where the conversation started, you know, a lot of people weren't too happy of certain things being crossed over and whatever. But I feel that on Friday, the second half of that just turned into hoax police, interrogation style, whatever, and certain words were said and certain narratives was pushed. I don't know. It made me feel itchy. That's the only way I can describe it. It made me feel itchy. I was like, this is really bad. To watch this back again the next day, it really come off odd. Just odd.
I still think you take the second half down.
But it's there. They would have copied it. It's one of them. If you take it down, you highlight it to it, they'll think, well, why they took it down? Let's go and have a look back, because they copy it. It's one of them. They will employ our tactics now. As they learn our tactics, they will use our tactics. So by now, they will be doing what AJ's done for however long, as quick as it's up there, he's got it in real time. So even if they press delete, bam, too late, we've already got it. They will be doing that now. You know, we've got a. It's one of them. Once you've said it, it's too late. Somebody's already got it. You know, we've got to think on that premises.
We've got a box clever.
Yeah. It's one of them. We know. We've seen it for years. When something's not so, but they'll make it so. You know, like my mate, perfect example. He's a contractor of sorts or whatever, and he has so many things going and whatever. For him to come to a demo and get shit on his name wouldn't be worth it, and would not be worth it. He makes serious money doing what he does or whatever, and if he had some little bastard ringing like they did with Gary, you know, when Gary got his job doxed, you know, it'd be the end of the world for him, you know. And he'd see me going to all these demos and this, that and the other, and he watches things, he sends me things and whatever. Behind the scenes, he'll tell you, you know, he'll agree with everything that's being said. And to be honest, people that are not educated on these things, they can see the wrong things. Now, he has took things and thought, you know, all of these people that appear to be Muslim, including Sikhs with, you know, that are obviously Sikh and whatever, and Hindu and whatever, he's thought they was all the same. And I've had to show him, look, that's not the case, mate. You know, Sikhs are good people, Hindus are decent people, whatever. You know, these, and I've shown him all this Sikhs awareness and all this sort of stuff, and he was gobsmacked. He thought, you know, all of these people that weren't black but was brown was of this sort, and they was all the same. And I went, no, honestly, mate, it's not the case. And
but unless you've actually been in a position where you need to know the difference, you don't. It's just, it's one of those things. But
this is it, yeah. I mean, he's seen me go through all these demos and had all these, there's always a story to tell after you come back from a demo. It's just one of them things. But when when he's seen the one in Manchester, Unite Against Hate, and you can go back and look on the picture of it or whatever the post that was put about. I think Tommy was one of two people that was white, and I think there was 10 speakers on the day. So my mate said to me, I don't usually come to these, but this looks pretty good, blah, blah, blah. You know, do you want to come with me? So I went, yeah, cool, you know, no problem. We went. It was a fairly decent day. The only people that caused trouble was Antifa 4 times, all caught on camera. And come 4 o'clock, the Manchester Evening News come out, and it was made out as a far right event. And my mate was there like shitting it, thinking, fucking hell, I'll be on camera somewhere or whatever. It weren't put out as a far right event. Most 80% of the speakers was different origins and races. How have they made it a far right event? And I said, this is what they do, mate. And it's only then when he witnessed it himself, you know, because it's one of them. It's easier to believe the bullshit in it. You know, when you see it on, when you're at a demo, you'll see them set up the cameras and whatever, and they'll set up just behind the lines where Antifa are set up and where they're going to have you march through, and they're only waiting for them 30 seconds, 60 seconds. They'll let Antifa throw the piss bombs and the fruit with razor blades into the crowd and whatever. And then they'll wait for the reaction of the people that you just had the piss and the fruit with razor blades thrown into it. And that's all they're waiting for, that little reaction. Or far right, blah, 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 cause shit in Manchester, when it's not the case. The thing is, more people have not been in this movement or anything like that are seeing these things go on. They're seeing these double standards go on. They're seeing the dirty tactics used to take people away from it. And for 2 years we've been pointing out, I've said from day one, forget the money, look at the actual framework of what's going on and what they're doing. All they're actually doing is painting a movement in scam paint and pedo paint. That's all they've done for 2 years. None of them have tried to refute what's being said. That's what they're doing. The letter of the law shows us that's what they're doing. So, to me, this is just another version of it. When people go off doing whatever, this Mark Collette shit, it's the same shit. They know it's going nowhere. It didn't go nowhere in the 70s or whatever, so why is it going to go now when we've got so many more people in the country? It doesn't make sense. It's just painting the movement in shit again. And this is all they're doing.
That's why the people need to understand the difference.
Yeah. Well, we need to be in the middle that are not and are cleaning the movement. To me, that's, if we can clean it and keep moving forward, people will follow the clean way out. It's that simple. It's a circle of shit. If you start cleaning your way forward and keep going forward, people will follow that clean channel. And the ones that are sitting shit, leave them sat in shit. Leave them sat in shit. They'll soon burn themselves out and become not important enough for anyone to give a fuck about. And that'll be that. It'll just be some shitty little KKK group that no one gives a fuck about because there's not enough of them to care.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to educate people to the fact that we've tried all that, it doesn't work. Demonstrations don't work. All it does, it gets you frustrated and let up because you go down to London, you get kettled in, you get told when you can march, when you can't march, told where to march, where you can't march, and everybody just gets frustrated the hell out of, and then that's what they want you to do. Then they want you to kick off. And we've tried to educate the people that stop wasting your money going to demos. All you need to do is when somebody, it ain't got to be our group, it can be any group that puts anything lawful in, that's lawful and legal and is against the government, you've got to back it with action. I.e., like the Khan thing, instead of sitting there doing nothing, when somebody goes and does that, you've got to send the emails, send the letters, what you're asked to send. Put the pressure on these people. Don't just sit there and say, well, you went and arrested Khan. What happened? Well, nothing happened because nobody did anything. It was only us that went in there and did that. We've pushed it now. 3 times we've pushed that. Still nobody ain't doing anything about it. And it runs out next January. So that's where we're at with that one. And don't forget, that wasn't just Khan. It was Steer Carr, Keir Starmer, Khan, Kate Green, Harrop, and there was another one. I can't think of the other one. But anyway, there's 5 of them. 5 of the main Fabian should be under investigation, probably in prison now. But nobody did anything about it.
Statute of limitations means we can't accuse them again as well.
Yeah. So, that window of opportunity is closing very fast. And with everything that Khan's doing, it's a no-brainer to me. I can't understand why people ain't on it in droves.
This is it, mate. I think if we was to shine a light back on that and the fact that it is actually an open investigation still, to me, if you want something to work and you want to act on something, you want to all actually unify on one thing and make one thing happen, that should be it, because it's halfway there. It just needs...
Do you know what might be a good idea, Rick?
Good.
To get Glenn back on, get his followers on, and then talk about the Khan again when you got the numbers watching.
Yeah, that's what it needs, mate. I mean, if with Team Tommy and Britain First, with them uniting,
we've got a case ready to go as well.
That's it.
Take it to the station there.
That's it. It just needs numbers. There's your numbers. There's your truth. Your true following. And at the end of the day, I think there's lots of other groups that will get behind it. All these moped thefts and motorbike thefts and muggings, you name it, it's all going on there. And what's Khan doing about it? There's so many groups put out that absolutely hate Khan, and we're missing a beat. We're not.
Khan's hot at the moment as well. Generally, Conservatives have been trying to rip her a new one. The London Assembly are absolutely furious.
This is it.
Every month, he's just an arrogant wanker sitting in front of them and going, yeah.
This is what's so frustrating, Vic, because it's QCs have tried, solicitors have tried, MPs have tried. No one's managed to actually get the man investigated. We're the only ones that managed to do it, and it's just going.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Now might be the time, as I say, to revisit it.
Yeah.
And like I was saying to you, explain. Like, I didn't know before I met you about the Fabian Society. I knew that you'd done a citizen arrest, but I didn't really understand from the wording what it was for. I understand it was treason, but what was it that you did that led to that? People need to understand that to be able to go, fucking hell, yeah, I'm going to get behind that.
Yeah, I agree. This is
it. Because otherwise it's just a citizen's arrest of Sadiq Khan at a meeting.
Yeah, we've always got to do it as if it's a fresh set of eyes that don't know, because there's going to be a lot of people that view these things for the first time and haven't got a clue. So we do have to do that.
Nathan, have you got the case number?
Somewhere.
I've got it, Susie. I put it out the other night again.
Right, well, I need it. What I will do, I'll put together a post and share it into numerous groups.
Well, what I'll do, I'll send you the whole lot.
Okay.
Of what we did when we put the case in. I'll put all the charges in there, the lot. I'll send you the whole lot. Okay, and I'll put something together. I'm going to get it out there. Okay.
There's a video of the arrest and a lot as well that I think AJ did, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it has. Even over the last couple of months, we have tried to you know, put some life back into it, but nobody seems interested, and I don't get why.
Now or never. Now or never. Every day that goes by is another day closer to him getting away with it. He'll be sat there pissing inside thinking, you know, they could have me by the bollocks, yet they're doing nothing. This is it, mate. It just needs light shining on it, and if all these people around it actually want to do something and actually want to unite on things, that's it. That should be the... If we can remove that little bastard out that job, that is a start. That is a good start.
So I'll see if Glenn will come back on Sunday then, and we'll do that Sunday.
I think he will, mate. I think he will. He seems happy enough with what we're doing and whatever. He sees it as the truth channel, which we have. We've always been the truth channel. We've always stuck to the fucking very letter of what's right and what's wrong. We've not bent for anybody.
It's not just a con. It's not just a con thing as well. We've actually got a case together that is basically against all surviving members of the Hooper administration. We can cut the child porn rings, everything off in one go.
Yeah.
Well, Rick, as you know, I work with Steve. Well, a post we put out this week, to do with the immigrants, has reached 1.4 thousand shares. 1.4 thousand, and that is in less than in a week. Well, if we can put something together about this case, I'm sure that don't have a lot of time for Khan. I'll see if Steve will help me put something out there.
What we basically need, I think we basically need, guys, is somebody who's professional to say, you know, do you want rid of this man, and keep showing Khan? If you do, this man, blah, 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 then act, because what we're going to show you now is an ongoing case, and then play the video, and then at the end reiterate it and say, we're now going to scroll the charges this man is under, and we can do something about this. If you all email, call Islington Police Station, blah, 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 this is the crime number. But need to do professional.
AJ's already done a video.
Has it?
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right for that. It does the job. It's pretty good. Everything's in there.
But what I'm saying is, maybe you need somebody like who does the voice, who got a voiceover thing, and say, do you want rid of this man? You know what I mean? And draw their attention to it.
I'm sure.
Because at the moment, they're just sticking the video on and people ain't watching it. But if you've got something to draw your attention to it, you're more likely to watch it.
I'm sure somebody will do it.
Sorry, for me, in case I didn't understand the concept of it. I knew what was happening, but I didn't know what or why.
Yeah.
So even if you watch the video, you still don't get that from the video. You lot do, because you know. Yeah. You understand the wording and everything, but somebody watching it, it's just people in a meeting room, citizens arresting someone and saying some words.
Yeah, but if at the end of the video, I think AJ's got it on the end of the video, I'm not sure, but it puts up all the charges that we put in, and it tells you exactly what we put in against him, subverting the Constitution, all sorts of things, conspiring with the Muslim Brotherhood, all this sort of thing which is against the Constitution.
But to me, it's better to hear that from you guys that have actually done it and that were there. Than to read. Yes, roll it, but say it while it's talking.
Do a watch party with a kind of an explanation in between.
Yeah. That'd be good.
That's what you need. Play the video.
Well, me and Nathan can probably do a watch party if I can sort out on how to work this fucking OBS.
But even after the video, if it's just scrolling, the sound could be taken down and it can be scrolling while you lot are talking about what happened, so people can be reading as well as listening to you saying it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, Vic, is if we do the video, then when it starts scrolling, keep pausing at every charge and say, right, this was one of the charges, subverting the Constitution. This is what he did to subvert the Constitution. Well, I'll scroll it to the next charge, and tell them what the next charge is about, and do it that way as you're scrolling at the end.
Exactly, that is the way to do it.
Yeah, bang on. Bang on.
We've really got to be professional now, and we can do this. And top man, AJ, for putting it together.
Well, I'll give it a go. We've got the professional.
Yeah, bang on. Bang on.
So can I just say, right? So even though we've got to be careful and box clever. It's a free speech channel. I think what we also need to make clear is that we all own our own words. So if anybody ever questions anything, go to me. If you've got a problem with something I've said on one of the lives, then you come to me. It's not for anybody else to take responsibility for the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, pictures are funny.
That's something the compare I Richard do when he's put in the beginning of the show and what the show's about. And everybody's of their own individual opinion. There needs to be some sort of dialogue at the beginning of each show that is said each time the show comes on. It's exactly the same. Explain the show, explain your opinions.
We make it clear that we all are, we've all come here off our own backs and met up together. We all have owned our own stuff and our own words. You shouldn't change that now just because we're in a room together.
That can go on the scrolling bar, Vic. Danny can put it on the scrolling bar.
And the thing is as well, to me, if we are going to be taken seriously, what we've put out has got to be good, solid stuff. I know it, unless we are debating certain things, I think we shouldn't just interject with other things that we could interject with that maybe not everybody agrees with. Does that make sense, or do I need to fill it out?
No, I mean, if we're putting on a show, then call it that. Then a live. We're doing our Sunday night show. Then we ought to have something set as the subject, possibly a guest on, and we just cover that. That is all we cover. And when even if it's only half an hour or an hour, at the end of that is when we finish. Because that is the reason for the live, basically. And then we know that it's a specific subject, and those who are interested in that will be the ones that come on, and will be watching.
And then we can do, like we were saying before, any debates or anything. Like Rick said, anybody wants to go on with and do their own thing, they can. But like the Sunday night being a specific thing that we don't get.
Yeah, a topic, a specific topic. Yeah, and just run with that. What's happened to your camera, Vic?
Hold on, nothing as far as I'm concerned. Hold on, so exactly.
You look like you're in deep water.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
I actually disagree, Victoria, on what I just said about this, that, and the other. What you do on your own platform, like on Facebook and that, if you want to discuss whatever you want to discuss on Facebook, it should be allowed. I would never dream of telling anybody what they can do on their own Facebook. If they want to put stuff out that they believe is right, put facts out with it, like me and Nathan did the other day. I can't understand why you can't do that on your own Facebook. Okay, if you're going to come on and do it in the name of the group, that's different. If you're going to do it in the name of Rude Awakening, that's different because you're talking for everybody. If you're talking just for yourself and your own opinion on your own Facebook, etc., I can't see a problem with that.
Well, Rude Awakening being mixed, that's clarified, so therefore, like I said, if there's a bit of dialogue at the beginning of each show that said each time, pointing out that everybody's there under their own free will of their own opinion, then it will clarify it all for everybody quite clearly. There's no need to complicate it.
Exactly, because what I say on my Facebook, whatever Nathan says on his Facebook, Victoria and Danny say on their Facebook, you ain't going to agree. AJ, Rick when he's on his Tara, you, Susie, Joe when she's on Facebook. Whatever you say on your own particular Facebook, we might not agree with you, but it's your right to say it. Otherwise, we could take
it's free speech.
Free speech.
Yeah. My concern is you both know a hell of a lot about the Constitution, the common law, everything. And if there is other things that haven't been proven as fact and nothing's actually happened as yet, then if nothing comes of those things, I would then have difficulty believing other stuff that person said. So that is my only concern.
Well, if it's things like 5G vaccines, if they're like considered like obviously proven harmful poisons, then that comes under the category of law that it'd be a crime. So with 5G, if it's harmful or it intrudes on your inalienable rights, for instance, like privacy, that'd be the Constitution, and that'd be common law, wouldn't it?
Then do it under that.
Yeah, and it's the same as when we talk about Agenda 21. We don't actually say this is going to happen. We say this is their plan, and if it comes off, this is what will happen. But you've got to now wake up and start questioning these things and say, no, we don't want to move into big cities. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We're happy as we are. We've lived like this for thousands of years. Why can't we carry on living like this? There's nothing wrong with the way we're living now. Instead of going with the narrative and believing everything the government says, you should be right to question them, because that is unconstitutional, what they're doing. Again,
the way you're putting things out to me is not coming across in that manner. It is just sharing other.
Well, that's only you then, Victorian, because if you look at the post I've done today, there's plenty of people on there agreeing with what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Well, I clearly back up my opinions with respect to with like the World Health Organisation and stuff like that.
Well, so do I. At the end of the day, I'm only telling people stuff that's in the Agenda 21. Actually, if you read the document, it tells you exactly what I'm saying. They're going to put you into human settlements. They're not going to. They're telling you they're putting you in smart cities, but they're not. It's human settlement. It's the way they're pushing it.
The neurologist knows his specialty to the max. Spot on. Constitution, neurology. Then all of a sudden you start seeing something that neurologist starts saying differently or putting some weird wacky stuff out on. When do you next go to see that neurologist? Are you going to believe him as much because you now know he's doing something else that you don't necessarily agree with? Or are you going to treat him wholeheartedly as that?
What weird wacky stuff are we putting out? All I'm putting out is what it says in the document, the actual wording in the documents, rather than the way they're painting it on the mainstream media. The mainstream media are painting it as, oh, you're all going to live together in smart cities and this, that, and the other, and it's going to be wonderful. But when you read the actual document, it doesn't say that. It says you're going to be put into in camps, which are like internment camps, which are going to be human settlements. And then you're going to be in the settlement, and the outer ring is going to be where all the wild animals are that's going to feed that settlement. And then there's going to be another settlement so many 100 miles away. In other words, you ain't going to have the freedom you've got now to go from here to Manchester or whatever. You're going to have to...
That might not be applicable by then, though, Gary. What I'm on about is what the shit that's going on and the law stuff that we need to deal with now, and the Muslims and the Sharia law and all that crap completely obliterates anything else at the moment, as far as I can see.
But you've got to understand that, Victoria.
Yeah, but by putting stuff out that's presumed might happen, could do, be careful, blah, 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 it's not, it's taken away from the important shit you know.
But it's relevant, Victoria. Do you know something now? If you look at now, right, everything they're saying, oh, money's causing this, money's causing that, we need to get rid of money. I think something, I haven't put it out there because this is just my own theory.
We have always got a theory. The
stuff I have put out ain't my theory, it's actually in the documents. But my theory is them getting ready to RFID chip everybody because they want rid of money.
Okay, all right.
I haven't put that out. I haven't put that out. That's just me.
The Malago, the coronavirus. the video with regards to a while ago, the coronavirus was going to be a massive thing. It's going to be like a genocide. It's going to could potentially wipe loads of people out. Then the video saying it's not the germs that are going to kill you from the gel thingy. It's now the injection. It's moving the goalposts. To me, it looks.
No, it's not. It's never been about the coronavirus. It's about all vaccines because it's always been part of the agenda to populate the world population.
We've always said, Victoria. We've always said this virus is bullshit.
We have always got to remember. We have always got to remember, if we've tried to set out 5 things that we can all agree that people will identify with and see as a problem and what a solution to, if we go from there onwards, you know, these kind of issues are deeper down the road. And to be fair, I can understand what Victoria's saying. If someone's just fresh to it, you know, they are going to look at certain things and think, I don't know about this, I'm not too sure. But if they can see the 5 things which we've pointed them out, from the people arriving from other countries, to washing up on our beaches, to then going out from there to whatever, to then creating crimes, creating national draining of money and whatever, with all the shit that comes with it.
And then what I'm trying to say, Rick, while everybody's concentrating on the Muslims and doing nothing, then bringing in their other plans behind the back door, you keep saying to us, and it's true, you've got to have a counter action for everything they're going to try and do. And that's all we're doing. We ain't saying it's immediate danger, but we're saying if they try and do this, if they try and do that, be aware, don't accept it.
Don't you think
that's what we say?
Yeah, but the grooming gangs, for the majority of the people in this country, not the thousands that are all on the internet, I mean the rest of them that don't do what we're doing and that have never seen anything. Because there are many still out there that don't use YouTube or don't see a thing.
Yeah.
They are going to not understand the majority of this.
Yeah.
But the Muslim grooming gangs hitting the news like it has, Tommy Robinson being proved the fact that for the last 10 years, he hasn't been spreading bullshit. He's been trying to get people to realise this shit needs outing.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, the only reason it's actually come out and is in the press, otherwise they would have kept it bloody quiet, is because of him.
Yeah.
So some people still don't know who he is.
This is it.
Yeah,
honestly, I had my niece's boyfriend here the other day, who's 21, 23, something like that, and had a Tommy Robinson video on. He was like, oh, what's this? Who's that? And I thought, what? Are you serious? And I had to show him loads of stuff. Well,
we've become our own bubble too.
Yeah.
And we've got to look outside of that bubble. We think it's quite big because the internet, people get millions of hits.
Yeah.
Thousands of hits.
Yeah.
But there's billions out that aren't on it.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Rick. Right? You don't go on Facebook very much now, but if you do, you will see we are getting through to them with Agenda 21. There's a hell of a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah. Probably
more than the Muslim problem.
Yeah.
Because it is a problem. And if you ignore it, it's going to come to bite you in the arse. And going back to what it is, if you're going to do this with Tommy Robinson, etc., that was more reason why we shouldn't have backed the perpetrator against the victim the other night.
Yeah.
I understand that, but as I say, Rude Awakening is a free speech channel, and we all have ever come with our own voices, not other people's opinions, not Gary's opinion, or I'm coming. We speak for ourselves, and they're our own words.
In that case, we can speak about 5G and vaccines.
But that's what I'm saying, it's a learning curve. It's not like we've been doing this a year and somebody's made a fuck up. We've done about 5. Yes, it was a fuck up. We realised we need to box clever. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Well, where do we go from here then?
Yeah. We do. It's one of those things. It's everything's a learning curve to us all. None of us have done any of what we're doing now. But I don't know. Danny's quiet tonight.
Is there anybody in here that hasn't spoke yet that wants to speak, that needs to speak? Because there's people that haven't spoke yet that need to have to say.
Danny's quiet.
I agree, it's free speech channel. Should be allowed free speech. I ain't against free speech at all. And I don't agree. I don't.
I mean, I know
if it's free speech, then we should be able to talk about 5G, vaccines,
under debate,
dogging, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. On a debate channel, not mixed in with an interview or other topic.
Yeah.
If you look at the channel, it's on there between the vaccine debate.
It's got to be a standalone subject, hasn't it?
Yeah. See, Glenn coming on to the show, that was in a trusted thing. You know, I don't think I know everybody doesn't get the legwork that's gone into this, the time put into many things to make these things happen. He's not gone elsewhere. He's come to us. He's come to us for a reason. The people around us react the way they do for a very good reason. It's took a long time to build up this trust with all these people and this respect. We've got respect and trust which money can't buy. All the groups around it know that. They may hate us, but they know that's the case.
Yeah.
We're the only group with the solutions at the end of the day. And to be honest, I think it's a matter of time before we've got a massive following, but we've got to have the right recipe, and it's got to be kept to that same recipe. It can't be messed with. We can't bend for anybody. It's got to stay the same. People have got to realise if we fucked off Graham Moore, you know, he was the so-called leader of whatever. You know, we're not gonna not shake things up for anybody else or whatever. We're gonna point things out. That's our duty in my eyes.
I keep harping on about this, but again, a lot of that can be sorted out and be structured if you structure the show. Like I said, you be the host, so you're basically commenting or introducing stuff, people moving it on, things like that. It will stop a lot of the hassle, I think, because it be structured.
I agree.
Whether it be an interview or that. You'll have, like I said, like the dialogue at the beginning, excusing everybody, saying it's everyone's own opinions, not the show's, things like that. You could sort it out with certain bits like that, as long as you structure it and it's said at the same time in each show.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and
it becomes a routine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never said I don't have my own words. What I say, I'll stand by. And, you know, I don't expect anybody to back me up on it. I'll fight my own battles. And that's the way I've always been.
I must admit, I often don't really think about the words that come out of my mouth. I often want to be just as surprised as everyone else.
Yeah. But to me, the stuff that me and Nathan are talking about, other than it's all to do with the Constitution, it's scary times now, and you've got to keep people on the ball. And today I've done that video, and I've said straight away, all this coronavirus, it's all bullshit, fighting in supermarkets and this, that, and the other. I've told them straight, but Agenda 21 is very real. They will be pushing for it. At some point between now and I'd say 2025, they are going to be pushing to RFID to everybody, because it's coming nearer and nearer. And when that day comes, all we're saying is, be very aware of it, and just say no. It's your right to say no.
Well, we've been doing this a long time. We've been watching the tools they use to try and remove our Constitution. They've tried retreats, they've tried loads of ways. They're getting desperate now, so do believe that they will try and they'll not hurt anything.
Because once they control you with technology, you ain't got a constitution anymore because they don't fear you anymore because they can just switch they've got mobile 5G now that they can switch on and it feels like your leg's on fire or your body's on fire and you have to get out that area, and that's fact.
Do you know why?
Can I just say before I forget this? My point is, though, if you're putting, say, 2025 a time scale on it, and that thing doesn't happen, then are people going to believe everything you say because you've not made it?
We're not putting the time frame on it. We're just referring to what it's called. The people that wrote it called it that. That's the name of it.
Yeah. And that's my opinion on here. That's my opinion on here. It can be any time between now and 2025. But it could be tomorrow.
That's why we always say to people, go and read the document, because it all says in the document that's what they call it. This is why the reason. Yeah, but this is the reason. Like I said, when you read the document, it all becomes clear. That's the wording they use. So it's not our prediction. It's not what we're saying. So look, there is a document that states this. It's called this.
See,
for me, the only way I can
read it to understand it, though.
Yeah, I understand that, but the only way I can explain it on a really basic level, it's a bit like to me to have crime off. If I kept saying something on a regular basis and it doesn't happen, but then I have somebody to listen to me because I really mean it, because I know what I'm talking about, and this is going to happen, how many people are still listening?
Yeah, but every time you've said something's going to happen, Victoria, it's happened. Have you thought about that? When we warned everybody about voting in the EU elections, blah, 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 everything said me and Nathan was bonkers. 2 weeks later, Godfrey Bloom and other top QCs all come out and backed up everything me and Nathan had said.
Absolutely.
I think what the problem is, Victoria, is the way I think the phrasing as well is you are implying for some reason there's going to be this doom and gloom, the world's going to end. At no point has anyone said any of that.
But that's the way it's coming across.
No, not if you go read the document. That's the thing.
It's coming across that exactly what it is. That if you allow this to happen, you'll all be in human settlements, you'll all be chipped, you'll have no cash anymore, you won't be able to buy anything, do anything or whatever without them saying you can. And that's the fact.
It's the way they angle it. It's the way they angle it, right? Let's say I'm the government and I want you to chip your children. I'm going to show you 10 examples of parents that have chipped their children, and they're going to tell you you're a bad parent because if my child gets kidnapped, I can have mine back within an hour, 100%. What are you going to do if your child goes missing? They make you feel bad. It's a campaign to make you feel like you're the bad person for not doing these things. It's the way they'll sell it.
But I guarantee you 100%, Rick.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you 100% that whether your child's chipped or not, you won't get them back that quick. Because if these scumbags are the ones who've had them, the paedophiles, you won't get them back anyway, whether they're chipped or not.
Exactly.
It's not just that. If they
don't need chipping.
Dogs have been chipped, and people have learned how to get around that so they can get around the chips in children. So, like I said, they're going to trick you into doing these things. You're going to do it, and it's legitimate. It's just out of the in the first place anyway. There's just no reason for it, so it should not happen.
Yeah, most things that they do,
it's a breach of inalienable rights.
Most things they do, they just make it easier. Well, they just offer to make something easier for you. And most people, if you can make their life a little bit easier or sound easier, they'll go for it. It's stupid.
Even just how many people have got a bank card? Who's got a bank card there?
You've got to look at it like this, Victoria. The more people that give up their rights, the less rights we have. The more you give,
absolutely. But even with like just cash, we've gone from cash to checks.
Exactly.
So then I have a card, then a PIN, then your phone.
Yeah, then you stop having privacy because you can no longer spend it on what you want without the government knowing. You no longer are able to accumulate personal wealth. There's loads of things that you'll be giving up if you allow a cashless society, and people don't realise it.
It's happening, and we are all doing it.
And look at the amount of schools that are now having. I mean, I know where I live, there are, when kids go to senior school, the way of getting the food is they have to give a thumbprint. They have to agree to the parents to give thumbprints at the beginning of their schooling there, and they're told that the thumbprint will be destroyed once the child leaves the school. But the reason is so that people don't steal, that each child gets a meal, basically, and that someone isn't taking their dinner money.
It's actually against the law, but because you consent to it, it's allowed to happen. This sort of people don't realise it doesn't make it right. It's basically you consent to it, so you don't question it.
Some of these are solutions to a problem, surely. If there's people being bullied for their pocket money and kids aren't getting fed, then it's a solution to a problem. It's only when it goes too far that it's a problem, surely.
Yeah, but
otherwise we wouldn't have cards, and we wouldn't use our phones to pay for things.
Yeah, but once they've got the thumbprint, there's nothing to say that they're ever going to destroy it.
But does it matter if you've got nothing to hide, Susan?
Why do they need a thumbprint if you've got a card? It's only a card you can use, like a bank card.
Yeah, no.
Why don't they give you the school card with your name on it,
because somebody can copy that? I'm just saying, there's I'm just on about Sophie's thing with the thumbprint. If there's kids not getting their dinner because kids are being bullied for their pocket money, it's a solution.
How can the copy an ID if you found someone in?
That is not a viable excuse to give up your enable rights forever. And that's what you're doing, because you're consenting to it, therefore you can't take it back later on. This is what people don't realise about it. Therefore you can't say no at a later date.
But like, for instance, okay, what you were saying about with the EU, and okay, people did vote for the EU and what have you. Yes, it was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Totally get all of that. But what's happened? All those other people that did vote in the European Union vote, what's actually happened?
That is the reason why we've got such an extended interim period, because of all the people voting, because it gave way to the European Union having a stronger hold, basically, over negotiations.
However, they haven't, because it's really fucking up for them.
Because all it was a well-known show that we wanted to.
But I'm just saying, what happened? Nothing happened.
It is actually, but you've got to keep an eye on it. What's happening now? Actually, sowing us slowly and surely sowing us back to the EU.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They're stitching us back piece by piece by piece.
Have you watched the interviews that they've had, the press conferences and what have you, with the...
No, I don't go on interviews. I go on things like paperwork, like treaties and declarations and stuff like that.
I've listened to the words that have come out of their mouths about what's going on there. Having difficulty discussing what the budget is going to be, and they are refusing. Officers refuse to align in.
You're taking the word of a politician. I mean, that says it all.
Listen, I'm going to give you an example now. January the 31st, 1933, they moved Hitler from where he was in his position to Chancellor. He went before the Parliament on the 31st and quite categorically said in front of the whole Parliament and the nation, we will uphold the democracy of this country, we will uphold the Parliament. 2 days later, he dissolved the Parliament and took over the totalitarian regime. You can't believe a word they say.
So who do we believe?
You only got to look at Finchley Road about that, Gab, because of the amount of politicians, lords, ladies that are involved in the asset stripping.
But haven't you heard with regards to the fact that things are changing and there's people like Trump and Boris that are fighting against the other side of things?
it doesn't quite work this side of the pond. Who we believe in? We believe in us, the people, because it's always been that way. It always will be that way. It's the people that make changes, not any politician, not any
statistics and information. Surely you have to have something that you take as a reference point to learn from. Or do you just it's things like the Magna Carta 1215, like the Peasants' Revolt and stuff like that, and it's a bloody civil war of 6 years. Basically, we're refusing to do anything about the fisheries. They're not having the fisheries. They're fighting and going nuts about it. They've even called in extra Royal Navy boats to protect the fishing boats.
And so
yeah, absolutely.
But you know, the Royal Navy boats are there for more than the fisheries. Because they know the problem that's going on in Turkey with the migrants. If they break through Turkey, we're going to be flooded with them. That's why them boats have been put there, to stop them.
It'll be Ireland that they're around, not us particularly.
Yeah, but how long does it take to shoot from Ireland around there? If once they break through the blockade in Turkey.
Gary. Everything can always have a double. Anything can have a double meaning to it.
But we're going on experience.
At the moment, we've got loads of so-called refugees at the Greek border trying to pull it down, starting fires, throwing objects, missiles, whether they can get their hands on, screaming, shouting Allah Akbar and demanding they open up and let them in.
I think that has already been breached. I think that is already
Yeah, well, the Greek people have actually armed them. The Greek people have actually armed themselves up. There's actually been a shootout between Greek citizens and the Greek police.
We've actually people being sent over as well from other European countries to help.
Yeah.
This is an invasion. It's about to
I'm really sorry. If that's not a red flag, then I don't know what is.
See,
I have to try and stop them from getting here, because if nobody does anything, they will definitely get it.
see, to me, this is the number one. This should
If
be
the
the
Turkish government opened the Turkish border, I know they've closed the border, and we can't get into Greece, so they're stuck on a strip of land. So
Turkey has been putting them into buses and getting them driving onto them. Turkey has been driving them.
The Turkish police, elephant, Greek police as well, to a certain extent.
So somebody
they're stuck on this. What's going to happen is this.
Turkey opened up the borders both sides. They could have went the Saudi Arabia way, where there is actually settlements of tents, everything they need set up. But they didn't. They come this side. Why?
They've already started. Well, I've seen a video where they've said that they're Turkey are quite happily putting them on boats, going to take them to Greece the other way around on a boat.
Yeah, they could have gone to a very nice place called Saudi Arabia, where it's exactly what they want.
But some people just we're
talking luxury we're talking luxury tent settlements here, right? And they chose to go this way instead.
See, this is a 1450-year problem. We are being invaded. It's written. They've told us many times. They've invited us to join, or it's one of them, convert or die. That's the logo. That's the motto, isn't it?
Last time Islam, the members of Islam was in Europe, like this, it took about 700 years for Spain to recover.
What's that now?
Whoever's grinding, can you stop?
Yeah, I just realised it's nice.
Not grinding, never mind.
I can only tell you the reason why. Well, this is why I think me and Nathan push Agenda 21. Because at this moment in time, the government are getting ready. I've seen some of the adverts. When you look in America, they've already started advertising in America. They haven't doing it here yet. Is education, as you know, the brainwashing of the masses by the TV. If we can get one step ahead of them and let them know the truth before they start the brainwashing. They've got a better understanding. That's why we're pushing it now. It's too late when they've had 12 months, 2 years of indoctrination through the TV, and then you try and tell them the truth. If you can get in ahead of the government and put the truth out there first and tell them to go and do the research first, they're more aware of what the problem is before the government start pushing the bullshit on the telly. That's the reason I do it now. And the only reason.
To me, the way I see it, Tommy and whatever has done all the hard work for us. All we have, Tommy's woke everybody up. Yeah, there's still loads of people that are not even aware who Tommy is and whatever. But he's woke the masses up, realistically.
I just point out I wasn't blinding, I was actually doing the blind.
That's all. To me, Tommy's woke everybody up. All we've got to do, to me, there's enough people waking people up. There's people being people waking each other up now on a daily basis. People can see it on the news. You can see 27 men convicted. They don't even have to put a fucking word. Just put a line of stars and people know full well it's Muslim. Even if you change the word, change the narrative, people know who it is without a shadow of a doubt. So that is our one thing that everybody, not just in this country but worldwide, can see as a problem. It's a problem wherever Muslims are. There's these same problems, and when you can trace that back through their literature that shows them, they're allowed to do this shit, it's actually the right thing to do on their ideology, then we've got a problem. And the fact that you've got people on the left, to me, I think the problem is the left. I think the left and Islam are the problem. The left is because anybody, for all these years, anytime that good people do stand up and speak out, they get called racist, Nazi, blah, 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 all these things, when they're not true. The fact that I think the left now are just absolutely gobsmacked to the fact that Tommy's come out and called Mark Collette out. They would have all just assumed, we'll all get on and whatever because we're all these horrible racist Nazis that they've all been told that we are for 10 years or more, but we're not. Tommy's called it out. A few people have called it out, To me, the left are now gobsmacked thinking, shit, we thought all these was racist, but maybe they're not because look at this Mark Collette shit, To me, that's what, at this moment in time now, is the perfect moment in time because the left have just seen we are all vindicated, we are all justified for every single thing that we've said and done. We pointed the truth out and the facts out and nothing else. To me, that should be our one focus. After that, yeah, we do need to highlight all these things around it. Yeah, we do. But that's going to be your number one focus that people can all see and identify. And you can speak to anyone on the street at random and ask them about grooming gangs or anything, and they'll come out with all the right conclusions without you telling them anything. They might not have never been in a group or anything, but that's where misconceptions come in, and they can't actually identify a Muslim from a Sikh from a Hindu, and to me that's a problem. Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, when people have been targeted and murdered and whatever for, they think they're attacking a Muslim and it's not even a Muslim, it's been Hindus and Sikhs. People need to be aware of the facts, aware of who's actually causing the problem, and then you might not have these Nazis pop up that think everybody's got to go, they've all got to go. What the fuck? What, all the people have got to go, have they, Mark? All the people like the Sikhs from 1988 that dealt with the problem when the police wouldn't deal with the problem, have all them got to go as well? Because in my eyes, they're good people. To me,
the Polish go back hundreds of years.
This is it. This is it. It's, to me, there's people like that are going to make the narrative again. Oh, look, they are all racist because you've got dickheads like James Goddard following it and whatever and spouting his nonsense. He's pulling the Manchester Collective into that shit. Do you know what I mean? That's pissed me off in general because I've seen that group grow from nothing to something and now he's just painted it in shit. That group's finished because of him. And this will just go all over the movement if let to carry on propagating. I personally am gonna. That's my mission, to sink and destroy fucking this Nazi movement before it even gets traction.
Well, I covered that on my live the other night.
Yeah, I noticed that, mate. I noticed that. Nice one. This is it. If we all speak out about it, it does one of two things. It shows we're not all like that. You know, there is only a small percentage. It's one of them. He's got 100,000 following. How many names have you actually seen around it? I've not seen 100,000. I might have seen 25, maybe 50. That's about it. So where's all the other numbers? Don't make sense. Sounds like someone's been buying subscribers to me.
Talking about going live, I think I might be able to go live in about 5 or 6 days, so I might be able to actually say something.
Have you got a YouTube channel, Nate?
Yeah.
Have you got one? Yeah.
I haven't really set it up already, sort of thing, do it really.
Yeah, if you want to go live on them, you've got to press it like 24 hours before you want to go live on it. You have to like prime it or whatever. But
that's what I don't really know what I'm doing.
Lawful Rebel Rick is his channel.
Lawful Rebel, that's it. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. I always get mixed up with your two channels, which is rich. Yeah.
Well, mine was Black Country Dragon, but when we come out the Dragons,
yeah.
You know, with Graham Moore keep calling himself Daddy Dragon, I had to change it to Black Country Patriot because I couldn't stand having been charged of Graham Moore.
This is it. This is why I said back then, we need to just change the name straight away because it's obvious what he's going to do. He's going to sit back, let everyone do the good work and then go, right, yeah, I'm Daddy Dragon. And it's fuck all anyone can say. And that's exactly what he did, wasn't it?
Well, what it was, if you're doing common law and that, and you're talking common law, and you're Black Country Dragon, and he can at any point say, yeah, if you go and look at Black Country Dragon, he works for me.
Yeah.
I don't watch his lives anymore, so I don't know.
This is it. That's how he's got. I mean,
so that's why I changed the name.
Same there. He's got about 20,000 idiots behind him. He's been collecting money for this Tilbrook case and whatever. It's all gone to shit. Where's all the money gone? What's they done with the money? They didn't tell people that they was raising money for what it was used for. AJ was more clued up on it, to be honest.
That's something that's flabbergasted me. That it's just raised that money. The trial gone nowhere. It's disappeared. Yet nobody said, "Well, where's the money gone?"
Yeah, they don't care. It's mad. It's just another one of them things that didn't pay off.
I believe Based Amy did, and I think she got shot down very badly.
Yeah. That's it. This is it.
I mean, it's like that I said to you, Rick, the other day. I mean, they're still trying to push that scam in Australia, even now.
Yeah, I know. Same shit. It's unreal, isn't it? That's what we said, though, isn't it? That's what we said from day one. It's not just a scam; it's a fucking worldwide scam. You know, there is a big difference. The likes of Reality Report and all that, they should have jumped all over that and took it with fucking two hands. Why didn't they? That's what I want to know still. Why didn't they? Why didn't they want that information and run with it?
Well, you can see how trusted we are because straight away somebody sent me that link. Yeah. That scam's still going, Daddy. It's in Australia. Here it is. Got on it straight away. As you know, we've got on it now and we're trying to sort it out. But straight away, the bloke in that one, he debunked himself within the first 5 minutes. He's saying this card's great, this, that, and the other. Yeah. But you still got to take your passport with you because it's only really an identification card.
Yeah.
And the people is charging people $55 a pop for them.
This is it.
Which is about 25 quid in our money.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? It's one
Put a
of them,
laminated card.
we've got to look after our country before others. I mean, by all means, we've got to try and highlight it and try and warn people, but I wouldn't invest.
What I'm saying is all we do with them every time they do it live, we just pop on and put a few comments and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're taking on a monster, right? You're taking on the ITNG, basically, who are they're the spearhead of the whole lot of this.
Yeah.
So that's why they're doing like for like all around the world. In Australia, they probably have somebody the same in America as well.
Yeah. That's it. That's it, isn't it?
But we have to highlight it though, Aaron.
Of course we do. We have to say, look, there's a exactly the similar thing happening in the UK, and if we can find out where it is happening in America, to highlight that as well.
Yeah.
And then make the connections with the ITNG. Definitely. Yeah.
See, all I did, I just went on there and I went, this is a scam already been tried in the UK, blah, 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 blah. For more information, contact Den Tarrigan on YouTube and he will send you all the relevant information across and put you in contact with the others, like AJ and that, where on his channel. He'll point you in the right direction to so you can see it for yourself.
But it's not just a scam, it's an entrapment exercise, it's a disinformation exercise, and it's a counterintelligence exercise. All at the same one.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's not just a scam. A scam is just one little part of it.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, the counterintelligence would be to see who's actually anti-government.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep, that's exactly who it is. Because they want names, and the best way to get names is to pose as a messiah, to get everybody to come behind you as a Pied Piper. You're collecting a lot of information. You're taking money off these unfortunate idiots that follow the scam, and you're getting all their details, and you're shutting them down at the same time as entrapping them all.
Yeah,
it all works very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I'm just gobsmacked that anybody at all could fall for it.
Well, unfortunately, you get people falling for it who have tried every single other legal method of, let's say, Frederick Price's to do with forced adoption. I'm not saying that every couple that have had their kids have taken are blameless, right? But in 30% of cases, and that's 30% in my experience, being a lay advisor, they do wrongfully take children, and they do wrongfully keep children in houses that they're at risk in, you know, and that brought me into it. And then when I sort of realised that there are these Pied Pipers that people go after because they are that desperate that they've tried everyone else, right? Any sort of tiny little glimmer of hope is something that they will hang on to, even if there's a scam involved.
Yeah, especially if it's
and they're very, very, very vulnerable to being re-victimised.
Desperate for hope.
Yeah.
Nothing more precious.
See, that's one thing that's one thing we've never done. People who follow us and that, they follow us because they want to follow us, and we never ask for any fucking information about these people anywhere. Because we ain't interested. We just want to put the information out there that's going to help them. We're not interested in collecting data.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what they're interested in doing. They're interested in collecting money, and they're also interested in collecting data. And then people will flock to these people with all their papers, all their court papers, everything like that, right, and send it on to them, right? And that's their data collected.
It's disgusting when you think about it, ain't it?
It is, but the government agencies want to find out who is anti-government. And I believe before too long there's going to be a rounding up exercise as well. People will start to get rounded up.
Yeah, right. To do the 21 agenda. all the scams, all the people taking money that shouldn't be taking money, all the bullshit that's out there. Perhaps that's what they're doing. They're gathering all the information. They're going to collect them all up. And they're going to...
I don't hear the last bit. I don't hear that last bit, Victoria.
Sorry, I caught my finger. They're going to gather them all up and stick them in FEMA camps because they've realised that the world's gone nuts and they've got to sort them all out from the regular people.
Oh yeah, they've got to find out who all the troublemakers are.
The ones that are going to follow it.
Well, I wouldn't call them nuts because they go against the government. I think that's a very plausible thing to do because the government ain't on your side 100%.
Oh, I agree, Gary, but at the same time, right, what they're doing is they're bringing in all these hoaxes, right? Such as the hamster hoax, such as Holly Gregg, such as a whole load of other things to discredit them before they even got off the ground because they just go following these things, hoping it's going to help their case. You know? And then all this sort of wheat gets thrown in with the tares. Well, all the tares gets thrown in with the crops. They all grow up together, right? And that's it. You know, everybody's discredited who wants to make a stand because of all these hoaxes and all these scams and all this idiocy. It's organised idiocy. There's method in the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot on.
Like I said to Eric, when I spoke to Eric, I mean, obviously, not the situation now, he's barking mad, but, you know, that's what I said to him originally. Anyone that goes onto Andy Devine's fucking platform and whatever, don't matter if you've got an absolutely solid case, it's going to come out as absolute lunacy and some other scam or bullshit. And he just didn't seem to be able to take what I was saying. Oh, they're helping me. I thought, you'll see in time, mate. I can't help you. You're not listening. And that you just have to move on from there on, don't you? Leave them to it. If you think they know better, fine. On you go.
But the only other thing I'll say about that, and what do we do then? Just give up.
No, you don't give up. You definitely don't give up. What you do is you find out who all these people are that are trying to collect the information, expose them for what they are, so then people will learn to stay away from them.
Yeah, and that's what I did on that one when I went on. I give them Rick's information to contact him. I don't know whether anybody has yet, but from what I was watching, don't look like anybody's going to contact Rick because they're all up line and sinker for it.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, right, when people go after people like Brian Garish and stuff, right, they come across as being very, very, very respectable, and the butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, right? They're very, very clever. They know exactly what they're doing. But yet we've got Andy Devine pushing exactly the same Brian Garish stuff. We've got Cup UK pushing exactly the same Brian Garish stuff. So you know just by the fruits, you know where they're all standing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just designed to get names and to discredit people. It's designed to demoralize people to the point that they just don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah. It's so, well, I've tried everything now, and even these are supposed to be the leading light, can't get their children back. So they feel like that's it.
Yeah, they do feel that's it. You know, a lot of the ones that came out, first of all, on the Brian Garish and a lot of the other ones, right, they came out because they genuinely thought that their cases were going to be heard. They thought that they would have a voice. But then they've all scurried back out the woodwork, and a lot of them won't come back out ever again. And they know that they've shut them all down. So as far as they're concerned, that's a success story.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that, what Glenn said. Mohammed Fayez. he's disappeared now. He's left the movement. I know how many death threats he's had. I used to battle pure people for him, loads and loads of people for him. He was forever getting death threats and all sorts. He's a really nice guy.
That man a few times. That man is a legend.
Yeah,
what he's been through is, well, most people won't even know.
They'll be celebrating.
Most people weren't even about when he was sort of doing his shit. So
yeah, this is it.
Don't even know who he is.
They will celebrate the fact that he's now not in the movement and not speaking out. This to me is the problem.
But it's basically the intelligence services that are doing this.
Yeah, it's a government.
Of course it is. It's a government. You could call it right or left or anything you want. It's right or wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's why I'm saying now, Andrew. That's what I'm saying now. We've got to get one step ahead of these fuckers and start pushing the stuff that they're going to bring out before they do, so people are aware of it before they start trying to brainwash them with it.
Yep.
People can't take on too much, though. That's my point. If you try and throw too much at people at once, they're not going to listen to any of it because they can't take
all we do, Victoria, is push the same message. They're going to put it in smart cities. You're going to be human. You're going to be in human encampments. Blah blah blah. The same message. Go do your research. That's it. We don't push anything else.
They don't take it in the first time. They can always watch it again.
But unfortunately, Gary, right? We have got all the disinformation agents pushing exactly the same thing as well.
Yeah.
All the more reason to have clarity.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it, clarity. But the disinformation ones are the ones who come and argue the toss with you and say, you're talking bullshit, blah, blah, blah. That's how you know you're doing a good job. Because if you was talking bullshit, they wouldn't be on your fucking live feed slating you.
But who else says that? That other bit, Andrew Devine says those exact words.
Yeah, where do you think he gets most of his words from?
My point, if they're saying it and there's hundreds of people listening to him, do you not see what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, but what the difference is between that, Victoria, is when we go against Andy Devine, we've got facts. When they come on your live feed, and like a bloke tonight was on my live feed, he's actually now closed his account down. So I can't debate him anymore because I was beating him. And I said, come back with your facts, Vin. Come back with your facts. Put your facts up. And then I'll put more facts up. He ain't got any facts. He's just there to try and upset the apple cart by saying, you're talking bullshit, but he's got no facts to back it up.
So Vic, what you're on about is basically there's hundreds of people that watch him and listen to what he says, but most people know that we said it first. Most people know that he's copied us. That's why he when he says it, he gets it wrong. But the man can't even say the phrase, let those who will be deceived be deceived.
I'm just saying it's hard to get the that no, it was you. Other people, loads of people don't know any of it.
I've been saying these words over and over and over for the last how many years now. Most people know.
How many?
So there's like mantras that I think that's most of my followers.
I'll still go back to what I said though.
That's my point.
It's same as it's like with Gary's here's my hands, here's my heart, and there's certain phrases that Gary always says in his life, certain bits like to reiterate stuff. He always repeat the same stuff. But it's a fact, so it's just got to repeated and repeated.
I give up.
No, I understand what you're saying, but like I've just reiterated to you again, the difference between Andy Devine, we'll say, put your facts up and we'll rebut them. Andy Devine says it, and when you put the facts up, he shuts up. Because he can't argue your facts. We'll always argue the facts, because if they put something up, we'll put something up that'll fucking be, that can prove what they've just said wrong. Andy Devine can't do that, because he's relying on people not doing it. And if you do it, you get blocked. Nobody ever gets blocked.
I've used him as an example. I'm just saying, people like the scammers, Ray and Moore, they all use similar language. So if you use that similar language as well, how do people differentiate between?
No, we don't. I've never said that on a live feed. I'm saying it in this room, that when they're attacking you and you ask them for facts and they shut their account down, which this guy did tonight, he didn't come back with any facts or argue anymore. He shut his account down. So I couldn't even, he wasn't there anymore. So that shows you that he was talking bullshit.
Victoria, the fact of the matter is, what we speak is the letter of the word. So people are going to copy because it sounds similar, so we can't stop that. Let them copy. If they're getting it right, they're getting it right. If they're getting it wrong, they're getting it wrong. We can't stop that. All we can do is keep putting out the words of the letter. So
you've only got to look at Andy Devine now, Victoria. He was pushing the maritime flag. You followed him. Maritime flag, law of the sea, the law of the sea. Now all of a sudden he's spouting it's common law. So he keeps changing his narrative for a start. We've never changed our narrative. We've always been constitution, common law, rule of law, English law. End of.
When we first started doing this, the government was constantly telling people we didn't have a constitution until, what was her name, that put that case in, and everyone went, oh, is that the constitution that we've not got?
Gina Miller.
Yeah, that one. That was when everyone woke up, I think, and thought, oh, haven't you been telling us for all this time we haven't got a constitution? Well, how should we just use words?
And plus we was using take-back control before the government used it.
Yeah. This is it. I mean, to me, it's fairly obvious when you're told one thing and then, seeing as the narrative suits them, oh, now we've got a constitution because it suits what our narrative is. You have got to question things around that and think, well, what else have you lied about? You've got to, haven't you?
Well, look at John Bercow as well, Rick. He used the constitution. When he wanted to block that vote, he used the constitution. Yeah,
there's two. You know what I mean? These things have been said. I mean, we could probably go back over. We could probably get half an hour of people.
Constitution.
Yeah, we could probably go back and get half an hour of footage of people telling you constantly that you've not got one, and
the most damning one of all, Rick, was Dennis Skinner, who lives round by me. He's the MP for West Brom. When they was going on about giving the bailiffs more power than that in Parliament, he stood up and he went, "Whoa, you need to be careful here because, as you know, the Constitution, that's unconstitutional." And I'm not going to say the thing here because I don't need to. All you need to be reminded is you all know it, the Constitution. And then Bercow stood up and he went, "What that man's just said," and he blocked it. So it's very powerful, is the Constitution.
Yeah.
And when you properly in the Parliament, they shit themselves when other MPs use it. And I can't understand why these people, like Dennis Skinner, who's supposedly on our side, who knows it, who spoke about it, why they ain't more vocal.
Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, it's one of them. Does pressure come on you when you do? Have people tried and get pressure? I don't know. But to me, this is what I try and do when I go through all these groups, I see all these things, whatever. I try and look for something in each thing which you can use. With Pandora's Box, Finchley Road, the gem I spotted was the police pension. You show the police that actually...
can't really go against it.
You show the police that actually the pension that you've been protecting over our children, you've let all them kids, 1 million kids and counting, be raped, over that pension, over that golden egg. Now all of a sudden we can show you actually the proof is what you've been told is a lie, and you've actually only going to receive half of that golden egg is that half a golden egg worth sacrificing another million children, let's say? You know, to me, I think we've got enough ex-armed forces which will more than happy jump in that uniform if they don't want to do that job and they don't want to protect our children. It's as simple as that. But to me, there's a gem there with each thing, and it's just trying to pull all them things together and pull it to a solution. And with that, you'll get in the numbers because everyone can see these threats, they can see these problems, they can see the police are failing here, there, and everywhere. It's not just one town or one city, it's everywhere. They're all failing for the same reasons. They're all scared of saying anything which could be misconstrued as racist or anything of that way. And that what Danny said the other night was ridiculous. The fact that police can just say anything they want and support Tommy Robinson and whatever, and it's all fine. Sorry, but I've had counter-terrorism in my house with all the gear and fucking no idea. That when I showed them stuff on my computer, they were shit fitting. They didn't know what to do with the information. They just give me 4 phone numbers and said ring them. They stood there with fully fucking automatic machine guns and all the gear and no idea. They didn't know what the fuck any of it was. There was gobsmacked that we were showing them a music channel with chat in it about terrorism. Yeah. They couldn't understand that why it would be a red flag that Muslims are on a fucking music channel. And I was like, wow, you guys are thick as fuck. You actually don't know what you're doing. You've got no idea what you're looking at.
And computer games, Jihad 500.
Honestly, the copper, I think I've told you in the past, Gary, the copper, when I had that Pendragon's Den, no, not Pendragon's Den, sorry, one Islam out of the UK joined me. I had 5,000 subscribers on there. One of them was one of the coppers that come round to my house on a regular basis. They always used to come round, hassling me about this, hassling me about that. But one of them, I said to him, look, this is your job, mate. You need to look at this or whatever. Here's the fucking whatever. Here's the YouTube, whatever. And I told him, I said, go and buy a throwaway phone from Asda or whatever. No traces to it, no whatever. And he was one of my subscribers. He used to see what goes on. I thought, I'm not asked. You need to see what the fuck is, what the fuck is actually going on in the world. It is part of your job. Of course it is. It's like if it's like someone, that just, to me, there's jobs where you need to know your shit, and there's jobs where it's not that important. That's a job where you need to know your shit. If you're investigating fucking terrorism, I'm sorry, but the biggest terrorism problem worldwide is the Islamic terrorism that's going on. It's not the Christians, it's not the Hindus, it's not the fucking Chinese, it's the Muslims, and we know that it's worldwide. So the fact that they can't do, that's what he said, we're not allowed. And I was like, I was gobsmacked to him. What the fuck do you mean you're not allowed? I went, I'm showing you now. And he was just like, he was scared to look. He was literally scared to look. I was showing him people of pictures of vehicles that have been pulled apart at the front and all extra strength put in and everything, and then all the wings put back on and everything. So it just looked like an everyday vehicle, but it'll drive straight through them silly little bollards and shit. And that's it. That's the intention. I said, look, this is it. They was talking about it like it was nothing. They called it GTA, Grand Theft Auto or something. It was like they was talking about a game, but sending people each other pictures of big jeeps that they've had done and all this. And I thought, and that was their response. They just give me some phone numbers. I went, are you serious? You've come here bothering me about some shit that's neither here nor fucking there. You come with your cuffs out. You believe in with your cuffs in your little holder or whatever. Again, how many times have you been here this month? And you're never leaving with me because I've never done fuck all wrong. I don't step over that line. I do exactly what I'm legally and lawfully allowed to do. And that was it. It's one of them things, mate. They ain't going to be the saviour. If people think, this thin blue line, which is fucking stretched to its maximum, is going to save us, it's not going to happen. People need to be informed well ahead of time.
And this is where mention what you said. This is where people need to really understand the reason why we have so few police officers and always have had police officers.
How many forces have we got?
Duty to uphold the law in our communities. It's our job to uphold the law, not the police. It's not anyone's. It's our job to uphold the law. So if we do not uphold these laws, it is our fault. We are letting it happen.
What is it? 180,000 we've got. That's it, isn't it? So what's that?
The maximum of reserves and stuff like that, you could possibly push 250,000 police UK-wide.
And I reckon if the Muslims was to all chuck a prayer meeting about tonight, all the imams put a message out tonight for Saturday, I reckon you'd have 1 million Muslims on the street, no problem. And
I reckon it has 3 cities taken.
Yeah, that's it. And what could you do about that with a force of that? Not a lot, really. Are they going to be armed to the teeth? Probably. Are they going to have more guns than the police? Probably. We're in a bad situation, and people are still trying to defend things and make light of it. Oh, it's only 1%. I'm sorry, but 1%'s a fucking massive number. It's a massive problem.
I mean, this is the thing about people saying about getting people scared and fear-mongering. I mean, I can understand in certain ways about certain things, yes, but in reality, something that we've seen happen time and time again, and you're warning people about it happening on a larger scale.
This is it. Imagine if Tommy would have just stopped doing what he did.
It's getting people prepared. That's the whole point. It's better to be prepared than not to be prepared.
Imagine if Tommy would have just, got bored of the idea and people giving him shit and whatever, and just give up all them years ago. We'd still be in the dark now. You know what I mean? That's the way we've got to look at it. Everybody. Yeah, this is it. I mean, I've had loads of, I'd say lefties or whatever, that have been dickheads a while ago and gone, fucking hell, we thought you was fucking racist, right? All this stuff's come out now, and all of a sudden it's different now, and they're actually supporting some of these fucking loads of people. Please? What's that? Sorry, Joe.
Rick has
I was just asking you.
I can't. It's Gary. Rick has to do it through WhatsApp.
I have to do
Rick,
what?
You need to do it through WhatsApp.
Do what? So is it? See?
Gary needs to be invited back in through WhatsApp.
All right, I'll have to jump back out to do it. Don't know how to do it. One sec. Is he back?
Memory on it.
Is he back?
Not yet.
Oh, I've just sent him the link on WhatsApp.
No, not yet.
He's probably making a brew.
You can use the same link. That's why I like having a link sent on WhatsApp. Like, say, me and AJ have been talking in the morning or something. I can just go back later on that night and just click on the same link. And just bring,
one.
Yeah, just bring him back in. But
You wouldn't let me come back in on Black Country Dragon one to kick me fucking stride out.
That's weird, isn't it? That's weird.
That
is really weird.
Normally, if you've got the link, you just click the link and it comes straight back in.
Yeah.
All I had was, when I clicked the link back on, all I had was my camera. That was it. Fucking nothing else. So I thought...
How do you come through, Gary? Gary Nathan. How do you come through, Gary? Do you come through Facebook or YouTube?
WhatsApp.
Right, WhatsApp, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I have no problems with WhatsApp, but Facebook, I've never managed to actually achieve getting on through Facebook.
I've never had a problem with WhatsApp. All I've ever done is when I've got kicked out, just come straight back in. But every time I tried to come back in on my Black Country Dragon one, wouldn't let me in.
That's what I keep meaning to ask. Everyone's got pictures and stuff like that. I can't figure out how you do it.
Do you know when you go on your YouTube?
Yeah.
if you go into personal,
yeah,
and then edit,
yeah.
it'll say upload a picture.
Right, okay. I'll have to do that. I think mine's just a green snowman or some shit. I don't know.
It don't matter what it is, does it?
No, it's just easy to identify when people are talking because it comes up a picture and it's just easy. Like, I don't know.
It's a bit. What's it now though? Because I've got the same one as Nathan more or less.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in on the other one.
Yeah, yeah.
Nathan's got his dragon.
In. I've had to come in under the constitutional movement worldwide one. I have.
Yeah, well, Nathan's in under his lawful rebel, his dragon one, so he's very different to yours.
No, I'm just like looking. When you've only got a phone and you're looking, they look very similar.
Is Danny still there or very quiet?
Yeah, his mic's off.
Yeah, he's here. He just might not be in the room.
I was hoping to be hearing more out of Danny, to be honest.
Speak to him.
He did try earlier.
Oh, sorry. I might have been having a cigarette at the time.
Well, I'm going to switch my mic off and I'm going to let everybody else talk.
When you asked him earlier, Rick, when you asked him, he came on to speak and then he couldn't get on.
All right, okay.
Danny?
I can turn my mic up now. I've got to turn it down really low when Gary speaks because I've got to be aware of the neighbours.
I sent him a message just in case he's making a coffee.
Cool. It's just one of these things. I mean,
Yeah, good.
It's just one of these things. I mean, I don't know. I just got a very not good thing from it. I was like, I don't know. It couldn't, from a fresh set of eyes, it wouldn't look good. That's the only way I can say. Really.
Who's come forward and said anything though?
I've watched it back myself and just kind of, and then I spoke.
But we haven't had any backlash from it though.
No, I spoke to Glenn. It's one of them. Anytime I've had anyone on, I generally always give them a ring the next day and just see how they, how it went for them or whatever. Just a follow-up thing, really. And I don't know. It's just one of them. He did notice it, and his thing was he didn't say it out because he thought it was one of my guys and blah 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 this that, and the other. But you could tell on his face reactions and the pauses and stuff like that. It was awkward, and you could tell it was unexpected. It was very hoax police, not rude awakening. This is why I come back round to, if we're not going to mix two things, then we definitely don't mix two things. We definitely don't do it when we've put so much legwork into it, so much time and effort into making these things and getting all that trust built up over all them years. Glenn could have gone anywhere. He could have gone to any of these channels or whatever, but he's come to us. You know what I mean? He's come to us for a reason. And to me, that what Danny did he could have just went, what the fuck was that? Blah blah blah, and he could have sunk us in a day. He could have sunk us in a day. Oh, it's a lefty channel, that bam bam bam. You don't realise the damage that could actually do. I don't think Danny does anyway.
No, I don't. As you say, I don't think he did. But to me, Danny was just being Danny. That's how he does his interviews.
Yeah, but that.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't like he behaved differently to what he does anywhere else. It wasn't like he decided that he was going to do it. That's just how he is.
Well, people can go back and watch it. I did kind of keep trying to stop him in his tracks as if to say, right, enough's enough now or whatever, but it carried on. And on like a bit of a bullet point interview, and I thought, don't like where this is going. Don't like where this is going at all. That's why I wrapped it up. But as soon as it got to the end of the hour, I thought, you know what? Enough's been said. He came on to debate Pirate Girl. He's been on for a long time. Far too much shit's been asked and talked about which shouldn't have been talked about. That's what got me. Danny proceeded to ask a load of stuff about the case, mentioning loads of things, and then backtracked and went, oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about this. At that point, it's too late, Danny. We've already said it. People are listening. People are recording live as it happens. Too late. You know, if stuff like that could jeopardise his case, that's going to look really bad on us. That's what we'd said originally. We won't be speaking about that. It was very odd. Everything we'd said, the opposite was done. That's where my issue lies. We did speak about these things. We did say we weren't going to speak about this, and that. Yet that was the things that was brought up. And when I'm trying to shut him up, he more or less just carried on and on and on and on to the point where it was embarrassing, I thought. When you've got words like Packy being thrown into the mix and racist music and whatever, sorry, but this is looking a lot like somebody trying to paint us in shit. Now, we've had people trying to paint it in pedo shit. We've had people trying to paint it in scamming shit. This is not a route I want to be on. This is not anything I want to be attached to in any way, shape or form. And I think Danny is bright.
Yeah, I must admit, I heard that word clearly too.
Danny's bright enough to know the difference between whatever. Now, it's changed from he's a big follower of Tommy. Well, why did he say on Friday that you weren't a follower of Tommy, or you can't support whatever, and sympathise with the person that's groped the child? I'm sorry, but these things don't sit right. Now, Danny says that he lives in Telford and the problem's totally better now and everyone can speak out and blah, blah, blah. Chuck the word Packy in for some strange reason and everything's better. Now, we know people from Telford, we know people from Rotherham, and we know for a fact that it's actually 10 times worse, not 10 times better. So I'm not actually sure of any of the things that Danny's coming out with at all.
And still getting worse.
We had a bit of a problem though with Ellie Mae the other week too, didn't we? We didn't know what she was going to say all about Glenn.
Yeah. With a guest, it's a guest. There's not much you can do. But when you've pre-planned and spoke to your team and you've gone through things, what you're going to speak about and not speak about, and then they do the exact opposite of what's been said.
Yeah, well, I remember 28 years ago I was in Telford, right?
Yeah.
And the Muslims and the normal teenagers, right, wouldn't hang about together, right? In fact, the Muslims would all hang about in gangs, right? And they would beat people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, beat white people up. And so that's going way back to 1992 and 1993.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Danny can say what he's... Because some of the Muslims in Telford, even from 25 years ago, right?
Yeah.
26 years ago, right? Were some of the most racist people I think I ever set eyes on.
Yeah.
Can I just say though, before we go down the route of confirming all of this, we've only done a few, and I'd just like to point out none of them have actually gone exactly the way that we all agreed when we discussed how we wanted it to go. One, we said we weren't going to talk about Wake Up UK, and we did. One, we weren't going to have Kaylee and Scaly and all the others on, we did. Secondly, we weren't going to have conspiracy stuff on and mentioned, we have. I'm just saying, we've all done it.
What's conspiracy now?
Things that aren't proven at the moment.
Oh, God.
Oh,
5G immunisations?
It's proven that
It's not proven.
Carcinogenic. Yes, it is. The World Health Organisation has labelled it as carcinogenic.
Some things that
2014.
I think I've made it clear on 5G. I'm not one way or the other, but when I've heard things like it can scan into your house, if it can scan into your house, then I'm a little concerned off that.
Sorry, AJ?
Can I ask how many people in this room have had hands-on experience with 5G technology?
Well, I've had it since 2000.
I haven't, but I know that you have.
Okay, I've had 5G technology since 2016. I'm not dead. I'm not suffering from anything out of the ordinary from it. Quite frankly, 99.9% of what I'm hearing about 5G is conspiracy.
No, it's not.
Quite frankly, it is. When they're saying it's genocidal, street lamps have got 5G technology. No, they haven't. The transmitters aren't even 5G.
I've never said that. I've never said that, AJ. I have never said that.
Again, I think this is labelling everybody with the same thing as Mark Steele, which is just not the case.
Right, there's enough people in the room.
If you're saying the same things as him, how do people differentiate?
We're not talking about the lampposts. We're talking about when all the masts go up and they switch it on en masse and it's everywhere, it's going to be worse.
It's already everywhere.
With all the people in the room, is that the fact? Is that a fact or not a fact that it can see into your houses?
We've already got technology that
it's a fact.
Outside the house and see everything inside your house.
You got your mobile phone, you got your smart TVs.
At least 10 years that I know of.
Right. Okay.
I can get a device that sits on the back of my drone that I can actually do it myself.
So is the technology there for that to be able to switch it and turn it into what we're saying? That's what we're worried about, not now.
Yeah.
The capabilities in the future. Once it's all set up.
All the spying capability, they already have it. You have a camera on your mobile phone which they can watch you with. Every voice call that you make with your phone can be recorded and intercepted.
That is just a cop car, but it is on a completely different scale as it's been proven.
There is nothing in the way of technology that isn't spyable on us, quite frankly, and it's been that way.
The only thing about 5G is they've got a far faster bandwidth.
So 5G is a lot different. It will
faster bandwidth. They can do a lot more spying with less.
Privacy will be a thing of the past with 5G.
Privacy is already a thing of the past. People just don't realise it.
Yeah, I do know that.
I can assure you.
I do know the smart technology can get you locked up. I know someone that bought a TV. The police seen him buying a TV. They intercepted it, put something in it, watched it for a year, and they convicted, I think it was 20 people. He was one of them. And he'll be in the
I already cover the cameras on my phone because I know that there is spyware in all the new phones.
Yeah.
It's not just that, it's anything that goes out, any transmission that goes out through your router can be intercepted. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
Well, did you know that your router actually has a backdoor on it, right, which allows NSA to get in and take over the whole lot?
Yeah.
And so if you've got a Windows computer, that allows NSA in as well. Yeah. They can watch everything that you are on your screen somewhere across in America or somewhere wherever.
I can guarantee you now for anyone
when is enough.
Anyone that's not using VPN right now is quite likely to be spied on. What you're doing online right now is being spied on. Even with VPN, they still gather all the information going out and coming in.
Well, even with VPN, they can backdoor into the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only got one recently when you advised me about it. Until that, I was just doing everything, whatever, and then obviously dickheads can grab your fucking children's postcode. So yeah, it's vital, isn't it?
Vital, totally is, yeah. My concern with 5G, and the only concern I've got, is that if you look at the cables going into the boxes, what they've got now, they can change them boxes over and make it more potent.
Have you watched the 6G video that I've already put up on my channel?
5G, 6G, what I'm saying is, 5G, it's facts, the military use it, they do use it, AJ.
I know the military use microwave radio.
So if the military can use it, what's stopping them using it against us?
Completely different technology to what the domestic 5G.
Yeah, but the military
this is getting messy as per usual. People are talking and not letting AJ speak. He's not spoken all evening.
Is this way?
It's exactly the same technology. Let's get that clear. It's the technology that gave way to the weapon.
Would you like to listen?
Please let AJ speak for a minute.
The domestic application of 5G does not contain half the stuff that the military application contains, and the military application is nothing more than crowd control. It is non-lethal. It doesn't kill anyone. It's not ionized radiation. It is not what people are going around saying it is. The domestic, what they're putting out domestically is at a lower wattage, a lower frequency than a lot of what we're putting up with and taking in at this current point in time.
We could do, if he's one, we could do this as a rude awakening show. It doesn't matter that we oppose each other, we're allowed different opinions. We could do this as a show, to be fair. Show Liam whatever, how they could have done it instead of just calling donkey every 15 seconds.
No one ever said that it's going to kill anybody, and it works as low as 1 kilowatt. Non-ionized radiation. Again, the World Health Organization have done a test. 24-hour exposure shows indeed there is damage to cells on a cellular level.
No more damage than what there is from sitting in front of your computer. An actual fact, your computer will give up more.
Actually, it's very similar to the rate of ionized radiation.
It isn't. It's already proven time and time again.
It's constant. It's not my words. It's World Health Organization. This is what I'm saying.
Documented proof of that, because there is none. I've looked. The fact is that 5G, what's being pushed on 5G is completely wrong.
We can do a debate next week if he's one.
I ain't bothered if you want to do it, because mine comes from the like I said, faster speed control, implant you with all the chips. Whether they can do it with 4G, 5G, whatever, I don't know whether they can do it with 4G, but I know they can definitely do it with 5G, and you know what I want from our grandkids and our future generations. I'm sorry, I don't want them all controlled and fucking chipped.
And that's the point, it's about the capability. Whether you believe they will use it like that or not is irrelevant. It's the capability. Would you put yourself in such a kind of position to the fact that they could just use it and do it? That's the point.
We're already in that situation anyway.
And when there's enough of that,
scan your house, they'll do that. It's as simple as that. That's the way that it is.
You're saying total submission?
No, it's a case of 5G is no different. The only difference you're getting from 5G is better bandwidth. And yes, it does make things slightly easier for them, but it doesn't if you actually secure your technology properly.
Actually, 5G is completely different. It has the capability to pretty much pinpoint a dot anywhere on your body. It's remarkable. It's going to be a constant. Like I said, that's why it does worry people about the smart cities, because it will create what will basically be a dome, a constant dome of electromagnetic field over the city that your body will constantly be basically bounded with, which is harmful to you. Those people are already sitting in there anyway. No, it's totally different. It's going to be on a completely different scale, and it's going to be constant. I'm sat in a room right now. That's where people don't understand the biological side. People do not understand the biological side.
Nathan, can you prove this with paperwork? AJ, can you prove this with paperwork?
Yeah.
You both can. I know you both can. Well, you both can.
No one looks into the biological side.
Have you got the paperwork, Nathan?
Yes.
You can put screenshots up and do it, and they're legitimate.
Yes. Of course they're legitimate.
So why then, when you look at 5G,
I've told you and put them in the groups before. This goes back to 2014, 2015. I've showed it all before. It's pointless.
So why then, when you look at the people who refuse 5G, Brussels has refused 5G because of the possibility of adverse health conditions, and that's fact. It's been refused in Brussels. Why is that then?
They should also ban mobile phones and radios and microwaves and TVs and cookers and basically anything that has electronic capability. Pretty much.
There's a magnetic field, and that's where you go into extremes to try and beat an argument. This is the thing. It's like in moderation, technically speaking, per se. The thing is, this is not in moderation. This is constant, and it's on the grand scale. That's what people don't get. They just don't understand the magnitude and the true scale of what's going to happen.
You do realise that when